All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining the Classic Championship Series tonight. It's a battle for the playoffs as we enter the day with our Week 7 matchup between Limitless Future, Goldfish Gaming, as voted by popular demand. My name is Cursive, joined by the man of many talents, Elsa the Queen, and also for the second week in a row, our fearless leader, the Moneybags itself, Flay, filling in for now. So, hey, Flay, how are you?
Hey, good. How about yourself? How's everyone doing today?
I'm doing all right. I've been drinking a lot of caffeine and
Hmm.
prep for tonight's
Tell me
game.
about it. Awesome, awesome. How about you, Elsa?
Doing great. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be able to do some analysis before this matchup and then just be able to kick back and watch a great match. So,
Yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about this week, and also something that happened very recently that we haven't officially got confirmation about, but I will state it on the past when we get to that point. But, a lot in the league, a lot of things happened. Collective finally clinching playoffs officially. May have just clinched first round as well, potentially, with what's going on, but we'll see. Lemon's picking up that big win. Predictive faltering game 2. Coin flip throwing game 2, and ended up losing the Goldfish. Limitless, the curse of the third seat. There is a lot to go on this week in the CCS. Now we're going to start this off with the top boys, the big boys, collective effort. They've officially clinched playoffs now. And assuming they win this week and Team Ambition Heart and Soul loses, they'll also close the first round bye. If not, they'll probably end up closing the first round bye next week if they win, which they should be favored to. And there's obviously a realistic possibility that they win. 18-1, which is phenomenal. And we're going to start this off with you, Cursive. What should be the focus of collective effort these next couple of weeks now that they know that playoffs is secured?
I mean, so it really depends on what they want to go for, right? Like, do they want to not show anything at all, or do they just want to clean up what they've already been working on and refine it, right? So when I look at collective, like, I've been trying to think, like, what is their style? And I just constantly think of like IG a few years back when they went to Worlds. I'm not saying they're as good as IG. I'm just saying like it was that squad that would constantly outplay you. They would get these leads, and they didn't really seem to have like a strategy necessarily. They were just so good, so scrappy. And when I look at collective, like this is why they were all stars, right? Like their entire squad. So I feel like when I look at collective, it's just about, hey, do they need to actually find like an identity, a style or something like that? Or can they just keep going with this, we'll just smash you in lane. We'll come out of lane. We'll out scrap you in every team fight. Their macro was pretty solid with their vision. So it's really difficult to pinpoint things when you are at this high level that collective is at.
yeah, I mean, so kind of building off what Cursive was saying, I think there's kind of two schools of thought here when you're this high up in the standings as collective effort, because they can definitely afford to lose, specific game or individual games. As you said, of course, they would like to get to that 18-1 mark, but they can afford to lose some individual games. They could possibly even afford to just lose an entire match and still get that first round bye. So, on one hand, you could kind of stick to what the champions that you've been picking so far and hide a lot of things that you're kind of working on from the teams from the playoffs, right? So that's kind of one school of thought, is that you want to be able to catch people off guard. Another school of thought is maybe you actually just like throw out as many picks as you possibly can in these last couple of weeks, whether or not you actually plan on playing them in the playoffs. And the reason for that is then when you're a team prepping for collective effort, like Cursive said, like this is a team of many talents. So when you are looking at collective effort, you're prepping for them and they have so many different picks that they have prepared, it gets really hard to figure out, like, what are you going to ban? Like, what are you going to pick away from them, And they are a team that's kind of at such a high level that they can probably play maybe, their second or best or third best kind of tiered champions and still be able to take another team down and make it look good, right? So that becomes really hard for other teams to decide how you want to plan team compositions against this collective effort squad.
No, 100%. I think we also have to remember, if I recall, they have a pretty easy next couple weeks. I know that week 9's against Arcanus, which will most likely be a fairly meaningless match for both teams. Most likely by then Arcanus should be out of playoff contention and Collective should secure the first round bye. So don't be surprised if we see some all-star level picks in week 9. But in general, we also have to remember the whole like momentum argument of coming into the playoffs probably won't apply to them because they're going to have the first week off. So even if they try to try hard week 8, week 9, and they just try to stomp people, they're not going to be playing a match the first quarterfinals once they pick their semifinals opponent, assuming they hold on to the first seed. Now go to you, Elsa, and this is kind of what we were alluding to. Lost Chapter, apparently, this is not confirmed yet, at least 100% from what we've seen, has FF their match versus Lemon Citrus as their second FF. That does still mean that they are technically undefeated against teams they actually play, but they have FF'd again. This is massive, obviously, and we are going to talk about the implications specifically with Lemons, who are a team who just won now, who now have won 2 in a row, and are 3-4, and are in a really good spot to make playoffs all of a sudden because they beat Lost Chapter, which they were surprised to find out, like the rest of us. But what do you think of Collective compared to Lost Chapter, especially now that we've seen Collective on stream? And I do want to shout out Flan for giving us the VOD, to give us the opportunity to actually watch this team for the first time, that's not All-Stars, and actually see how this team plays. Where do you rank them compared to Lost Chapter, also?
Yeah, so I was thinking about this kind of coming into the analyst desk, and, you know, it is hard still a little bit to compare just because we haven't, you know, not only have we not seen these two teams go head-to-head on the stream, we haven't seen it at all, right? Because that was the first FF. But when I was kind of comparing the games, you know, after streaming them on Tuesday and then having streamed Lost Chapter the week before, I noticed that, you know, a few things stand out for me. I mean, first of all, both of these teams play around vision control better than any of the other squads that I've watched. And I think that that goes to show why they're kind of on the top of this league. That's something that sets you apart from the others, especially kind of at this like high platinum or whatever, mid platinum kind of level of play as a team, is being able to control that vision. That's something that they both do, you know, really well. And on top of that, I think both teams have shown that they're able to overcome some early to mid game obstacles and then still come out like smashing the game. We saw that from Collective Effort in the stream on Tuesday. You know, like in game 1, they fell a little bit behind with their Aatrox in the top lane. Like 10 minutes later, Control Alt Elite is just absolutely massacring people into the mid game. So, you know, we've seen similar things from Lost Chapter as well, just kind of being able to overcome individual stumbles. What I think sets Collective Effort a little bit ahead of Lost Chapter for me, now having seen them, is that they play to their team composition's objective so incredibly clearly, right? Like, so once we see them in the team fight, particularly it stood out to me when they had the Jarvan Leona, like they're just following up, layering the CC in a manner that it shows that, you know, they probably practice these team compositions and they understand exactly what it's meant to do. So for me, Collective Effort, they're kind of the team to beat.
Right. And yeah, so I'll just chime in right there. So I really appreciate that we finally got a chance to actually look at Collective Effort in these VODs. And I hope more teams actually, you know, reach out and send us their VODs. You know, like if you want to actually get more exposure, or just as an analyst, right? Like as somebody who's trying to evaluate these teams, it's a lot easier to be able to pinpoint like what a team's strengths are, what their weaknesses are, where they might improve, and how they actually stack up to the other teams in the CCS. So the more VODs we have, the more types, the more opportunities we actually have to actually look at these teams. It gives them exposure, but it also exposes us as analysts to those teams so we can give more accurate analysis. So the way I look at Collective versus Lost Chapter, I feel like Els hit some really solid points. I have a lot of the same things. So I would also say that Lost Chapter in general, I feel like they actually have set strats. They have set drafts, and Collective is kind of just like, you know, they pick comfort and they just smash you, right? Like that's how good they are. And, you know, the drafts do work out for them. They both play around vision very, very well. But when we look at Lost Chapter, I feel like they actually know exactly what they want to do. Like their win conditions are decided in the draft. Like it has fallen onto Deprapine quite a bit, but we also see Shen Yuna also in the mid lane able to actually capitalize and have the team play around him as well. So when we look at the win cons for each of these teams, I say Lost Chapter have very, very clear-cut win cons, what they want to play off as they go into the draft, whereas Collective is just like, yo, like we're gonna get, you know, we're gonna get these leads everywhere, and Philly B has really been popping off in the mid lane. And then they have a lot of different layerings around Philly B that kind of are just able to outplay things and make things happen. So it's a little bit different, but I feel like Lost Chapter has a clear identity, a clear draft premise, what they want to do, how they want to play.
And speaking of exposing the analysts, last week we all predicted Predictive Gaming would beat Team Ambition Heart and Soul.
Unfortunately,
We all got exposed. Can't hide away from it. We were all wrong. And we're gonna have kind of like a multi-part question. I'm gonna leave the predictive one to you, Curse, because I know you're your boys. I don't know if they're still your boys anymore after what they did last week, but we're gonna start it off. We had a lot of questions for Team Ambition coming in. They lost Lord Nick, a lot of doubting, and the game one lived up to the expectations. I guess for a lot of people, Team Ambition overperformed that game. They should not have won that game. That was a comeback by them. And it took game one, but I think most people were like, wow, this is gonna be the series we thought it was gonna be. Up to 3 games, both teams battle up, and then game 2 happens, and apparently we all go to get to sleep by 11 because there's a 25-minute victory. Right. So Elsa, after last week, I know I did mention in my recaps the curse of the 3rd seed, so be of caution in terms of what you say about Team Ambition right now. What do you think of Team Ambition after losing Lord Nick?
I mean, certainly we had a lot of questions about Team Ambition coming into this matchup. We didn't see them really tested yet. I don't necessarily think on stream. We had seen them stream before, but not in, against a team that really pushed them to their limit. So I think, Flay, you put it best last week when you talked about, is this a systems kind of team where you can kind of plug and play another player and make it work? And I think that Team Ambition really showed that last week. So they put in a he did a lot of the same things kind of that Lord Nick did, which I think is kind of being the ringleader, being the aggression starter in the game. He actually died right away in game 1, trying too hard to make a gank, pull off a gank, but he stuck to it. He continued in that game. He was really leading the charge, I believe, on Trundle in that first game. And then in the second game, it was just all ado. He was playing Lee Sin, just continually going into the enemy jungle, invading under the Warwick, and just pulling out tons of advantages. So kind of having that ringleader player was really key. And I also would shout out to the coaches on Team Ambition as well to find a player that really fit that identity really strongly. And I just felt like that was really, really strong for Team Ambition. And they showed us that they're not a team to be messed with. I think that, obviously we all predicted PGO, and I think that was kind of based on the information that was available to us. And Ambition was like, no, you don't know everything. Here's what we can really do.
Well, I am being informed they do not have a coach, so nice job, Elsa.
Oh, well, great job by their squad then, old school, yeah.
They don't need a coach in Team Ambition. They just beat you by that one, apparently.
We just can't nail down Team Ambition. We're wrong about everything we say about them.
Maybe if we say the opposite of what we're thinking about, we'll always be right about them at this point. But Curse, do you have anything to add about Team Ambition before we go to your squad?
I just want to say Team Ambition, Heart and Soul really impressed me with those games. They played so well together. They definitely have chemistry together. Their players were all solid, and I was just hyper impressed by the way that they handled, this Predictive Gaming Odin squad.
All right. Speaking of Predictive Gaming Odin, I'm going to ask Curse to give you a one-word answer before he actually explains his position. Just to let you know, the remaining schedule is Collective this week, Oblivion next week, Goldfish the last week.
Okay.
Also, let me remind you, my Lemons is just win right now, theoretically, so it's closer. So what do you make of Predictive Gaming Odin? Are they contenders? Are they pretenders? Will they even be in playoffs?
Yeah, that's tough. Really tough schedule they got. Honestly, and I'm gonna go with pretenders. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm flipping on them real quick, but yeah, I think they got exposed really hard against Team Ambition.
But do you think they'll make playoffs, I assume?
Well, with that schedule, I could definitely see them actually missing out on playoffs. And yeah, the way that everything has been going for them. And also they got exposed. They need globals, right? They need this Nocturne, they need Galio. As soon as you ban that away, I had actually thought that maybe it was a game 3 thing, but no, it wasn't a game 3 thing. What happens is people say, we're just going to take away the globals from you. And that's why they were struggling so much. So they are hyper reliant on these globals. And even with the globals that they're so accustomed to, Team Ambition just stole that win from them and then smashed them after those drafts. So I think it's very, very clear going forward, hey, all we have to do is just ban Nocturne and Galio and Shin, first 3, and I don't know it. I don't think they have enough in the tank, in all honesty. So I'm going with pretenders, and that's one of those things about being an analysis, right? We have to be able to see the teams, and yeah, they just Heart and Soul just exposed them so hard.
Elsa?
I mean, I think you said some stuff that I definitely agree with. I would push back on that just like a little bit and say, like, I don't want to totally discount Predictive Gaming Odin based on that one match. Like, it's not their only loss, but this is what I kind of make of this team, especially based on their team comps. They play, we talked about how maybe like Collective Effort, Lost Chapter, especially Lost Chapter, they might have team comps that they play to certain win conditions. I think PGO is a team they are really kind of dependent on that, right? So they play the Nocturne Galio, they play like the Malphite and the Warwick, these champions that are kind of successful at like kind of a lower, elo level of play. And so what I think is kind of a result of that is when they go against a team like Team Ambition, they kind of get exposed. But when they're facing teams that are below them in the standings, I think that is kind of like when they shine. They are able to just play to those specific champions, play to their strengths, and take wins. And I mean, we can't discount as well, like they did take a really big lead on like TA Heart and Soul in that first game. Yeah, they blew it, but they were in that spot. They were ahead. It's just kind of a question of closing. So looking at the rest of their schedule, yeah, Collective Effort, I that's going to be a really tough matchup for them. Like, I don't know that they're going to be able to take that one. That being said, like beating Oblivion and Goldfish, I think it's definitely doable for them. I believe those are their other two matches. And, again, I think those are teams that individually they match up better against those two teams. And so, certainly, I don't think as highly of them as we thought going into that match, but they're definitely a team I could see getting into the semifinals, like winning that first round of playoffs against a lower seeded playoff team.
Right. I just want to say this so that we don't forget. So, this is the same squad. Let's see here. So I'm just looking back so I actually say this right. Right. So this is the same squad that lost a coin flip in week 3.
Yes.
Right? So they lost a coin flip 2-1. And when I first saw that, I was like, what is going on? How did they lose that game that they should have won, right? And it's because coin flip just outdrafted them. And so this is just going back to my point that Predictive Gaming Odin are hyper reliant on these globals. And when you do take those away, which, some of the other teams, maybe they didn't have Lemon Citrus almost beat them too, by the way. They went 2-1 against Lemon Citrus that very next week. So it's one of those things where once you ban out those globals, like they don't have the same sort of synergy with each other. Like they are hyper reliant on that. And going forward, the reason why I say that they have a chance to possibly even miss out is because the schedule, like they're even with the globals that they are used to playing around with, if people ban those out, like the players on Predictive, even though I am super high on them, it doesn't seem like they have actually gelled together and found a strat that works for them outside of those globals.
And I mean, yeah, we will see. I'm hearing Predictive saying that they were trying to coach. They're going back to PG drafting himself. We'll see what goes on. But this third question has a lot more weight now that we already know what are the results of the game. I was gonna basically lead into the fact that Week 8 could be a massive matchup between Team Ambition and Lost Chapter. If Team Ambition wins, and let's assume Lost Chapter wins, the Lost Chapter is lost. So
right.
If Team Ambition wins this week, it is completely tied, setting up a Week 8 matchup in which the winner will be the second seed. It's going to be really that simple. And so there's a real possibility, and I don't know if Lost Chapter will play next week or not, because the FF was a little uncalled for. I assume they will, though, because it is an important match. That essentially, we could have a match for second place. Now I'm going to start with you, Cursive. What chance does TA have pulling an upsell next week against the Lost Chapter, which I will remind you has yet to lose a match when they actually play in the CCS?
This is actually really difficult because what we saw from Heart and Soul was similarities with Lost Chapter, right? But differences at the same time. So when I look at this, how they stack up, I think they're going to be pretty even. And I would say I would give Lost Chapter the advantage, like a 60% advantage, 40% Heart and Soul, because Heart and Soul showed that they have tenacity, they have heart, they have a lot of different ways to play. And the last time that we saw Heart and Soul, they played a completely different style, which was the thing that impressed me the most. It was something that nobody else had actually played. So I feel like if Heart and Soul still are going to be very creative with their draft, their play styles, it's going to be something that's going to give Lost Chapter a very, very difficult task of actually dealing with. And I feel like Heart and Soul, if they do get the second seed, like I think they can make a lot of noise in playoffs and all. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you with kind of like one caveat. I think Lost Chapter would kind of be like the easy, I think that they're kind of my team that's my jump to, right? Like Lost Chapter, like you said, they haven't lost a match that they've actually played. Now, when I look back to the match that me and Cursive streamed them against Arcanists, like my one particular criticism of Lost Chapter was that they kind of let Arcanist get a lot closer in those later game team fights than I would have liked to see. And what out of Heart and Soul last week was like, this is a team that they just won't die in games. Like if you give them an inch, like they will take a mile. They will continue to, you know, stay alive in the game. So I'll say I would favor Lost Chapter in that matchup, considering they're able to kind of decisively win those late game team fights. Otherwise, like we saw, like from Heart and Soul, like they know how to play the map late in the game, even from a disadvantage. That's what I would be kind of concerned about if I was Lost Chapter.
And I think those are all fair arguments, but knowing that, is anyone willing to actually pick Team Ambition over Lost Chapter next week?
I mean, I don't know anything about Team Ambition, so I'm going to say Team Ambition.
Wait, you're picking Team Ambition over Lost Chapter?
Yeah, why not? I don't know. I mean, whenever like I told you that, like my instinct was Lost Chapter, but we already clarified earlier in the show that like if your instinct is against or about Team Ambition is one thing, you got to go with the other one. So
you're trying to
Team Ambition.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have like a justification for that, like I did for Lost Chapter, but yeah, I'm just cast or curse, go
Basically,
away.
what I'm hearing is that because you've been wrong so often, you're just gonna bet against yourself. Is that your argument?
Exactly.
Okay,
like 50% chance, like.
Okay, I just want that to clarify for everyone. Moving on to the team who has now won 2 in a row. Lemons got the upset victory of Oblivion Esports last week. A victory they did actually win by playing the game. And they now have a matchup. This week they have won against Lost Chapter, and they remain Coin Flip Gaming and Limitless as their last 2 opponents. Now, we came in with the perception that they would lose against Lost Chapter and have 2 competitive games. One that they would probably be favored against Coin Flip Gaming, and one that would be potentially a toss-up against Limitless. They've now beaten Lost Chapter, and they are effectively, top of my head, 3-4 if I'm correct. And they are probably favored against Coin Flip Gaming, and so we can maybe see them as 4-4. It comes at a point when has Lemons basically pulled off the miracle run, essentially, as long as they can take care of business next week? And I'll start with Cursive on that one.
Right. So I talked about Lemon Citrus, last analyst test that I felt like they had the highest upside. The fact that they got an FF win over what could be one of the best teams in the league, arguably top 2, is huge, right? And now that they control their own destiny, all they have to do is win out. They win out, and basically they're in because you're knocking out Limitless, you're putting them down, you're knocking out Coin Flip, putting them down. And yeah, I feel like they control their own destiny, and I want to see this team in playoffs. Hopefully, I'm not caster cursing them because I do like them a lot. And yeah, I think that they actually can make it into playoffs. I said that last week, and just looking at the momentum that they're starting to carry on, like it's one of those things where you're at the blackjack table, and like every hand is just coming up blackjack. Every hand you're just winning, and you want to keep going, pushing it. So I think they're going to make the run. I'm knocking on wood right there. So I'm not trying to cast or curse them, but I'm a big fan of Lemons, and I want to see them in playoffs.
Awesome.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, I feel like this would have been a much harder claim to make. But today, there's a couple of things. I mean, obviously, we keep harping on it that FF against Lost Chapter. Now, like that doesn't actually like give a buff to my thoughts about Lemon Citrus, just because obviously it was a free win. But hey, like it's a very important one, right? Like that's the one on their schedule that would like be the big red X if you were trying to like make predictions. So they kind of get over that mountain just like for free, right? Like they find a tunnel through it. Like Coin Flip, you can't discount this Coin Flip team. Like we talked about, they were able to take the match against PGO. So like it's important that they don't kind of just like slump on that matchup. But I do think that they can do it, right? Like they have a lot of upside, as Cursive said. They're definitely on a streak. Like it's got to make you happy and kind of motivated as Lemon Citrus, even to get the FF to some extent, just because that your kind of destiny lies a lot more in your own hands. Not sure about exactly, if they control their own destiny, but it's got to be at least close to that. And then against Limitless Future, I think time also has affected that too. Like Limitless Future, a team that we regarded as like, a very like stable middle of the table team. I mean, they've lost 2 straight 0-2 matches at this point. So if you want to talk about momentum, Lemon Citrus has it, Limitless Future doesn't. So I think that's also something that you have to keep in mind.
No, 100%. And I think I did mention in my recap, I think I've been really one of the only people, even before I talked about a couple of weeks ago, talking about Lemons, maybe more than Lemons has been talking about Lemons, to be honest. I stated they had a quiet 3-3 game record after going 0-4. They were 4-5 losses. Now they're 6-5 game record the last couple of weeks, and obviously one of the 2 games don't necessarily really count, quote unquote. But in terms of standings, that do count. And all of a sudden, when you finish with Coin Flip Gaming, which, of all intents and purposes, they should beat. And then Limitless, there's a good chance they enter week 9 4-4. Even if they lose against Limitless, they may still sneak in, because usually 4-5 can get you in the playoffs in a 10-team top 6 playoff standing. So we're in a point in which we have to kind of get in the mindset that Lemons isn't a bottom team. They're not Arcanus, they're not Coin Flip Gaming. We're probably going to see them in the playoffs. Now, what they do in the playoffs, that's a different conversation. But will we see them? Will they be here? There's a really good chance about that. And speaking about the playoffs, Predictive, Oblivion, Limitless, they all lost last week. Limitless has been losing. Oblivion's been a little shaky. At the same time, Goldfish almost threw a victory, but also came back. One of the strangest series I've ever seen. You lose game 1 without a top laner. Coin Flip throws game 2, and I personally witnessed, thanks to Goldfish, shout out to them for streaming the game 3, in which Mosey went 17-1.
Ooh.
In which a really strange game of 2 fairly closer game 2s have been just completely stopped by Goldfish, so don't really know what to make about that information. But at the same time, Lemon's upsetting Oblivion. One of these 5 teams are probably not going to make playoffs, assuming something crazy happens in the bottom. So we're really left with Predictive, Oblivion, Limitless, Goldfish, and Lemons. Of all 5 of these teams, I'll start off with Elsa. Which of them are the most dangerous entering the playoffs for the higher seeds?
I guess, like we talked about it earlier, but I'm just not going to discount Predictive Gaming Odin quite yet. Like, I'm not quite ready to admit that they're not a top team. I saw them in that game against Team Ambition, like, really lose momentum and make it really hard to come back from. I think that that's something that they hopefully learn from, right? So I just think, like, we've seen the highest ceiling out of Predictive Gaming Odin, out of all of the teams, in my opinion. Like, just playing those team comps that have a really clear objective. Yes, they kind of pigeon them hole themselves into these global compositions, but I'm really challenging them to look at that and kind of expand their champion pools. I mean, Riot has given them a lot of global options at this point in terms of champions that they can pick. So, that's just kind of my prediction. I think I do think the top of the table teams are really hard to beat. But if I were to guess one of them, it would be Odin.
Okay. Right. So losing the way that Predictive Gaming Odin lost, especially in that second game. So I think I made an analogy during that first game where it was like heavyweight boxers just throwing haymakers at each other, right? So a lot of this game is mental. So when you lose like that in that second game, like, that's a demoralizing one. And I feel like Limitless are kind of suffering from the same thing too, where they got beat down so hard. I believe it was against Collective. Don't quote me on that. They got beat up really, really hard in like one of these games. And I don't think they've rebounded from that. Like, I think it's been something that has been in the back of their minds for the past 2 weeks, which would explain their losing streak. So I'm actually going, and honestly, I don't think Oblivion is going to be a factor. I think Oblivion is probably going to be out of the race here pretty shortly, if not this week, the next week. So I'm actually going to go for Goldfish and Lemon Citrus on this. If they were to make it, like, I feel like either one of those two could, but out of all of them, I think Oblivion is going to miss out on playoffs. I said that before, and I'm going to stick to that one. I feel like Oblivion is just a team that I think they started off hot, and, now they've really cooled off, and some of the other teams are just on the up and coming. And I feel like Goldfish and Lemon Citrus are just better right now. And Predictive still have a chance. Limitless, I think they might actually miss out too, just because Predictive has a higher record. So out of all those, I feel like Oblivion is probably the one that's going to miss out.
And yeah, I do want to remind people, though, even though Limitless is a tough the last 2 weeks, they have a very favorable matchup the next couple weeks, including today when they play Goldfish, which we will talk about in a bit. but they have a very favorable matchup, the last 3 weeks. So there's a really good chance they enter the playoffs with a fairly good momentum. But it all depends on today's matchup. But before we get into our matchup, we have 2 more questions, major questions I'd like to ask, in terms of 2 matchups in the CCS today, and which I want both of you guys to give not only your prediction of how the game will go, but also the results. We're going to start with Elsa. We got the first match, which is basically an elimination match. Now, they technically may not be eliminated mathematically. There is a weird scenario in which they could probably force a tiebreaker somehow, but for all intents and purposes, it's basically an elimination match between Arcanus and Coinflip Gaming. The 2 bottom teams are playing against each other, and one of them is going to have 2 wins after this week, and has a remote, but still mathematically possible chance of doing a run to 6th place. Now, these 2 teams, these teams Elsa, who do you think is going to win today?
All right, I mean, I'll keep it short and sweet. I really liked, despite the loss, I really liked the new roster that Arcanus was able to field against Lost Chapter. And, I think that they, again, similar to what we were talking about before about some of the other teams, they have a really high upside for me. I don't think we've seen the best out of this team yet with these switch-ups that they were able to make. I'm going to take Arcanus.
I'm actually going for Coinflip right here. I see Spencer is on Coinflip now. Spencer was on Arcanus, right? And the best way to stick it to your old team is just beat them. You just beat them down, say, hey, you gave up on me, you didn't follow me, whatever it was. I'm with these guys right now, and I'm gonna just beat you down. If I'm Spencer right here, I'm like, guys, we gotta win this. No matter what other game happens, no matter, whether it be next week, today, whatever, we gotta beat Arcanus. I am not losing to these guys if I'm Spencer 1. So I'm going with Coinflip Gaming, and I think it's gonna be a close series though, but I am gonna pick them 2-1 over Arcanus.
Okay. I'll do my prediction as well, just to keep it off the record. I think both teams actually had a pretty valiant performance last week. Coinflip should have won. They should have beat Goldfish Gaming. And to be clear, if they played Game 2 better, they'd have 2-0 this week, and we'd be talking about them in a completely different way. And Arcanus played pretty well against the Lost Chapter. But Arcanus have done another roster change this week, if you guys notice. They have a new mid laner. Frequent roster changes. I don't know if it's just straight up an availability thing or what's going on, or as I said before, maybe just throwing stuff at the wall, hopefully until it sticks. I feel like Coinflip Gaming, even though they are at the bottom, they just seem like they believe more. I feel like they're just more cohesive as a unit. And they really haven't done a lot of roster moves. They have some changes recently, but overall I think they have more control of their team, and I think you're going to actually win today 2-0. Now, for our match of the week, voted by the community, in about 24 minutes actually, Goldfish versus Limitless are played in a match that is extremely important, especially because Lemons just won. So whoever loses this match is really not at a good spot, due to the fact that Lemons took that upset victory. Now all of a sudden there's a really good potential of a 3-way tiebreaker for 6 if Goldfish loses tonight, with Lemons at 3-4, Limitless at 3-4, and Goldfish at 3-4. Now I'm going to start with you, Cursive. Of all the teams, between Limitless and Goldfish, what do you have for tonight's match?
Ooh. So I've been so high about Limitless in the past and everything. I've been super, super high on them. But like I said, it's a momentum thing. You have to go with the hot hand. Limitless is trending down, Goldfish is trending up. I'm going with the fish. I'm going with the Goldfish Gaming. And honestly, I think they're going to 2-0 them. And just the way that the momentum is, I think they're just going to straight up 2-0 Limitless.
Also?
I had the same prediction as well, and basically the same justification. I mean, we've seen, again, 2 straight 0-2 losses from Limitless. They look a little bit demoralized, and Goldfish, you did mention, their matchup against Coinflip, it was really close. Maybe they didn't even deserve to win, but in particular, as you mentioned, Moss E, the jungler for Goldfish, he's on a tear. This man, he refuses to lose right now, and I think that he, on the big stage, on the stream, in this kind of match that's so important for the playoffs, I believe in him to carry his team over the line to be able to win. Plus, he's a big supporter of the CCS, so I feel like, we got to shout him out on the stream to continue, reining it in. So anyway, so I'm going to go with Goldfish as well. I'll say 2-1 because I think it is a really close matchup, and I think Limitless, even though they're on the downswing, they're going to be hungry for a victory here.
Now, for myself personally, I think Elsa's mentioned every week that Goldfish is a team that, for whatever reason, always goes to 3 games. So I don't know if a team would be looking forward to playing at 5 games. If they're already used to staying later than everyone else, playing later than everyone else, the fatigue may be less of a factor. But I've also hyped up Limitless more than most people have. I've considered a lot of their players a lot better than most people have. I think that team's really good. And, I mean, I know they've had 2 tough losses, but that first game in collective was winnable if they played it cleaner. And I actually do think they have a lot of talented players. I really do like their bot lane. I think Snowleft's actually a really good support. And just kind of knowing it, I actually think, Goldfish, yes, they won last week, but it was very unconvincing against the bottom team. I'm going to say Limitless wins this 2-1.
Hey,
I could see this flip, but if the only thing I'm really confident about tonight is I feel like we're going to 3 games. I feel like these teams are really even. I feel like Goldfish has shown the ability to come back, but also Fro. And most importantly, I feel like Limitless knows if they lose, they're in a real hole of trouble, especially if Lemon just won. So I'm going to go with Limitless. I think you're going to win and make this really interesting. There's a real good chance that entering week 9, we may have a 4-way tiebreaker for 6th place.
Yep.
It'll be very interesting. Maybe some double streams going on of matches. It'll be very fascinating to see week 9 of playoffs. Now, before we finish up this pregame show and get to our match in about 20 minutes, Riot, as you guys may have seen, really made some interesting bug changes, or not bug changes, I should say, more like bugs in the code, spaghetti code, is the best way to put it. And there are a lot of bugs, more than normal. And bugs are always a part of the game. I just want to restate something I stated earlier in league announcements. If we were to remove every champion that's bugged, more than half the champions would be playable every patch. Because a lot of champions are bugged. But there's a big difference between a game-breaking bug and like, hey, this has a weird interaction with this like said wall right outside the Baron. You gotta pick and choose. But this week, as you saw, Aryan Soul literally can't use his W. So probably for like the one player in the CCS that plays Aryan Soul, I apologize. And Callista, which I know has been hotfixed by Riot apparently, but we are still precautionary banning her because we don't want to take the risk, can double auto. Or at least was able to double auto. At the same time, we had other issues with our champions with PTA, issues with Gangplank's Q. It was a mess. Any thoughts on all the bugs? And then in general, the patch overall and how it may shift the meta as we get closer and closer to Worlds and that big Worlds patch in only a couple weeks. First, I will start with you.
Right. So, I mean, there's always bugs in the game and everything. At this point, I've kind of gotten used to it. So it's just a little bit more of the same. And at least they caught it, fairly quickly.
Yeah.
As far as the patch, like this patch, I said this before, like this patch is just so weird. Everything about this patch to me just says like they're trying to force certain things. They're trying to force like really weird things into the meta all of a sudden, particularly AP junglers. Like I kind of talked about Echo last week, but also Eve. Like Eve getting that reduction in her cooldown for her R, like that is huge. Let's see, Amumu with all the changes to him, like his changes were the weirdest, right? So they gave him the 2 charges, yes. But then they did really weird stuff with his AP scaling ratios, which just doesn't make sense. Like on some things, they actually buffed his base damage, lowered his scaling damage, and then on the other one, they nerfed his base damage, but then buffed his scaling damage. And I was just like, what? So no matter what you build on him, it's going to be wrong. Like, that's the way it looks to me. I'm like, okay, so they didn't make it clear, like, hey, you need to play full AP or full tank. They made it like, hey, this is actually sort of good early because the base ratios are good, but it doesn't scale that well. And then the opposite for some of the other ones. And then his R cooldown is just not flat. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why do that? So you can't even build them full tank or full AP one shot because of the way the R works with the Q. I don't know. Like everything about it was really weird. I said that Fleet was kind of like in a weird spot now. So I got to amend a little bit about that. So like with Fleet, for minion damage on range is where the change was, where you're going to be healing a lot less. But for champion damage is where it went up, and now it scales better as well. So I still feel like Cade is kind of in a weird spot with it. Same, I think Jhin will be fine, but just overall with the meta, I feel like AP junglers are kind of getting forced more and more, as well as those hole breaker change. I feel like that's also going to be something big for all these split pushers. And then last thing are lethality changes. So like Ghostblade is huge now. I feel like if you're going to build any lethality item or you're anybody who needs haste, like Ghostblade is something that you really want. And then also, like, what are they doing with Zed? Like, just everything about this patch to me is just a head scratcher. It's like, I don't know what Riot is thinking. And time is going to tell on what some of these changes actually mean for the meta, because it's just all over the place. Yeah,
I mean, I kind of, the bugs, you know, it's a big deal kind of in solo queue. We don't have as many players on those particular champions in the CCS. You know, I was looking at the numbers. I know as of like, I believe it's last week or 2 weeks ago, I think we had one Kalista game in the CCS, because that is the one champion that I kind of jumped to as being a larger impact. We know that Kalista is a lot more popular in these competitive environments where you can have a lot more competition, but just not really something that's in the pools or in the team compositions in this particular league. I mean, now to touch on the patch quickly, the biggest thing that stands out to me is this is like a pretty big shift beginning in the mid lane meta. And I know like Niall a few weeks ago alluded to this. I'm sure he would have a lot more to say about it, but you know, the Worlds is coming. Like he said, you know that Worlds is coming when mages get stronger. And you know, we didn't see a lot of mages getting buffed particularly in this patch, other than Lissandra, who's a great like kind of blocker mage sort of pick. But they did get indirectly buffed by some of these nerfs. Like Aurelia got a hit on the sustain from her Q. Like Aurelia is another one of those like really great mid lane champions. She has sort of a niche, but these great Aurelia players kind of take over against like basically any matchup. Akshan, we saw some nerfs to him as well. Not something that we've seen like in competitive play yet, but we have seen it in the CCS do like extremely well. It's been a very strong champion. And then also like with Lucian, he definitely took some hits as well. So kind of all of these like AD mid lane champions are getting pushed down, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more of like kind of the bread and butter. We've already seen the Syndra be really strong. I would anticipate seeing more of just like Orianna, another great team fighting champion as well. So that's what kind of jumps out to me, is that we're going to kind of see a shift towards more of that AP mid lane meta.
100%, 100%. I mean, you know, we'll see. Worlds patch is approaching. As many of you know, I think the CCS basically ends right before Worlds begins. So we may see that Worlds patch sometimes in playoffs. We'll see what Riot does. Overall, very big week in CCS now. With the Lost Chapter loss. With the Goldfish Limitless match. And all the various other teams in the CCS right now. Really, this could potentially change everything. And as we enter into Week 8 and 9, it's going to be very interesting to see who our final, or at least we presume are going to be our final 3 playoff teams, not named Collective, Lost Chapter, and Team Ambition, Heart and Soul. Besides that, Cursive, do you have any last thoughts yourself?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Also?
I just want to remind everybody to slap that subscribe button on Twitch. We got that now, so you know, we'd love to see your support. We really appreciate it. But other than that, thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. For everyone else, final words here. We've got 10 minutes until the stream game starts. We've got Limitless versus Goldfish. A very big match, especially with the implications that we have now. And besides that, we will hopefully give you guys an update on the Kalista and Ariel and Soul situation, as well as the mini Rengar rework. I know we had some discussions about what's that going on. That's projected to be released in Week 9 of CCS. We will monitor that closely. Be aware, we always give people about a week time frame when a scheduled big change happens that we intend to ban the champion. Hopefully, the Kalista situation has no problems this week, so we can release her next week so she's playable. And for Ari and Soul, Riot has not acknowledged it, so we will see what happens with that. Hopefully that gets solved. Final thoughts and words. Good luck to all the teams tonight. Hope you guys catch us on stream, and we'll see another exciting week of CCS. Peace out, everyone.
push it away. Intense chase and whispers before they all just fade. So how can I leave it all behind when I refuse to watch it fall to dust? I will find a this porcelain mirage may start to break. Each piece a reminder, every single little mistake. So how can I leave it all behind when I refuse to watch it fall to dust? Tell me why it won't ever be the same. I'll burn it all, no matter who's to blame. I'll find a way. I'll find a way. And every time I close my eyes, a little less of you remains. I know you're slipping further from me now. Am I
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 7 of the Classic Championship Series. This week, we got a fire matchup for you guys as 2-4 Limitless Future takes on 3-3 Goldfish Gaming in a battle for a playoff spot. My name is Rye Chance, joined by Cursive. Cursive, how's it going?
Pretty all right. We're already in this draft, and they're coming in like hotcakes, right? The Trundle, the Victor, the Katarina, GP with the changes and everything. So, yeah, we're looking for a nice series here. Hopefully, Goldfish, I picked them right here, so hopefully Goldfish can actually pull out a win, although I have been a big fan of Limitless in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. Goldfish coming off of a little hot streak. They were able to take down Tier Heart and Soul, which was the number 3 team. So they're feeling pretty good about themselves, able to beat that competition. And on the other hand, Limitless has had a rough couple 2 weeks.
Yeah, they've really had a struggle here. I believe they've dropped 2-0 2 weeks in a row, right? So they are going to get this first pick right here. Hopefully we got a nice par pick. Shinzao, is up. So I would like to see that, right? But then again, Diana is up. Echo just got buffed. It's going to be something that they go to. There's a lot of options right here for this Limitless Future squad, and they've shown in the past they have so much versatility, and that's going to be that Seraphine locked in for Snow Life.
Snow Life going to be on the Seraphine here. Seraphine is an alright pick, I think. I can go in a few different lanes, but it still technically can't go mid, but yeah, probably Sapporo. Ziggs the hover right now for Goldfish Gaming. I like this pick a lot. I think it's good, even through the nerfs. So, especially for that bot lane.
Yeah, Ziggs bot is still a menace, right? And okay, so it might be a pivot. Otherwise, it could be Ashe support. There's a lot of versatility right here with Goldfish. Goldfish has shown a lot of different ways that they are versatile and creative with how they pick and where they put some of these picks in the past. So if that is Ashe, it could be a flex in support or AD. Same thing with Ziggs. Ziggs can also go mid, as you said. The bad thing about Ziggs though is because it is so early in this draft, right? If they lock something like a J4 or a Diana, it can be really, really rough for Ziggs in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean already the 2 carries coming out from Goldfish have no mobility besides Satchel, I guess, but that can be pretty finicky and hard to use sometimes. Ooh. So we're gonna see Jarvan Tristana locked in for Limitless Future, and I do like this a lot. I think that Jarvan is very good. Obviously, into a mobile champions, you have Cataclysm you can drop down. It's gonna have to burn summoners from 1 or 2 of them, and then you just do it again. And next time Cataclysm's up, and you get kills. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, exactly. Like Myth Jones in the past has been such a beast on these sort of picks. So I like this Wombo combo that's going to be set up here with the J4 Tristana Seraphine. You get that big encore, and look at that Wukong right there. So now they're going to go ahead and lock in this Wukong blind. I'm going to assume that it's going to be in the top side. Wukong can be a flex pick, but that also sets up a really interesting Wombo combo between the Ziggs interaction with that Wukong ultimate, 2 charges. So they're going to go ahead and ban away the Mordekaiser, which is actually a really solid pick because we have seen in the past, actually, there's a different top laner in right here. So this isn't Kevin Chin. This is a first week for him. Martial arts for for you, I guess it's going to be. So they are going to go ahead and ban away the Mordekaiser. And I'm looking at this it could be a nice little psych out that Limitless has because they have a completely different champ pool between Kevin and martial arts or you. I don't really know how I should say that.
Yeah, definitely interesting there. Another thing I do want to mention here is that the Goldfish Gaming 80 carry did not show up. So they brought in the sub here, and that's going to be Okami Hayazo. So that's another thing to look out for here. That could throw off the draft, at least the bans from Limitless Future having a new 80 carry and that they weren't expecting as well. But second rotation of bans coming through, Lulu is going to be the option to take away for Limitless Future. And Goldfish is going to take away another top laner in that Kennen. We're seeing the pick top laner, ban top laners. So I like to see that from Goldfish. They look like they have a plan going into this draft.
Right. And you know what? I said Kevin Chin. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about that team all day today, but it's actually going to be Paz Nora, who is actually the top laner for Limitless, who is in here right now, not Kevin Chin. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about predictive gaming all day with some of the things we were talking. Yeah, what we were talking about in the analyst desk. It's actually Paz Nora who isn't here right now. And That's the fill-in right here. So they still are going to target ban some of the picks that have been going to Pasnora. I had actually looked up some of the things that what is this guy's name again? Martial arts for your, yeah, we'll just call him martial arts. So martial arts had actually been playing some really different picks. So Aatrox, I believe he was playing Aurelia. He had some similar champ pulls with Pasnora, but he also had some different ones as well. The Annie pick, there was rumors about Annie being picked up in the mid lane, right? Same thing with Lulu. So blind pick Orianna, just super, super safe. Oh, yeah, lost chapter. Sorry, whatever. Don't correct me. That's correct to be in the thing. So sorry about that. I said the wrong person. It doesn't matter. You know, the right person who I was saying is Pasnora is going to be the person that's not going to be here for Limitless. So the Amumu just got those changes, right? With the cute changes, right? I just talked about some of his weird scaling with his W and E and everything, but this Amumu is actually flexed because they already have a J4. So I'm really interested to see how it goes. And oh my God, that's a Kled. So I have no idea where all these picks are going to go, in all honesty. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities here for Limitless to flex these picks around. It can be Kled mid, it can be Jarvan support. I mean, there's a lot of different options that we can rock with here. But yeah, interesting enough, the Mumu pick is new on this new patch, where you can have, I believe it's two bandage tosses in the arsenal, and then the ultimate now stuns for less time, or doesn't scale or something like that, right?
Right. It's just a flat stun now. So it's I believe it's 1.5 instead of scaling up to 2 seconds, I believe.
Yeah. And then for last pick in the jungle for Goldfish is going to be Lee Sin. So, I didn't mention this earlier, but I actually am liking this Goldfish gaming draft. You have really good ball delivery with the Wukong, with the Lee Sin, can dive into the backline. And additionally, more circle ultimates here. You got Shockwave, you got Cyclone, and once both of those abilities hit, you can throw the Mega Inferno Bomb over the top and just explode Limitless Future. So I am a fan of this draft. And I mean, we're going to see the Ashe support here.
Yeah, this is actually so crazy by both of these teams. So they're both trying to like psych each other out or like outpick them or something like that, where they're saying, hey, we have all these different layers that we can go to. So they got staple picks for Limitless Future, right? They got the Triss, they got the J4, they got the Seraphine. They rounded it out with these creative picks like the Kled and the Amumu. Said, hey, we're going to just switch it up, see how you actually respond to this, right? And then on that Goldfish side, they kind of did something similar as well. So they have a wombo combo with those first 3 picks that they also capitalize with the Orianna, so she's going to have a nice shockwave, right? And when that Wukong goes in, it's just a huge wombo. The Lee Sin to me just shows that they want to have early game pressure, right? Lee Sin, not something that is traditionally great mid to late. It's an early game snowbally champ. And it's kind of just something to lay down protection for those immobile carries in the bot side, like you alluded to earlier. So I do like the way they rounded everything out. But at the same time, like, who's going to actually take care of this Kled? Who's going to deal with this Amumu, depending on how they actually build? So there are a lot of questions right here between both comps, where it's like both of them are asking questions like, what are you going to do against this? What are you going to do with this? And then it comes down to just execution.
Yeah, absolutely. Execution is going to be key for both of these teams moving into this game. And it's going to be pretty exciting. This top lane matchup, especially, very volatile. Wukong versus Kled. It can go either. I mean, whoever gets that initial lead is just going to be able to snowball over the lane. And it's going to be not fun for whoever doesn't get that lead.
Yeah, so it is Ponzo on the Seraphine. Okay, so Snow Life decided to pick something else here. So that's going to be an Amumu support then. Okay.
Interesting. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, if you're going to pick Amumu support, you might as well pick Maokai support or something like that, right? At least he has this. I mean, he's in there. But I'm going to assume it's going to be like an Imperial Mandate or something like that on him. The build, I haven't actually seen a Mumu support in so long. So it's kind of a cheese thing that players kind of did back in the day. But when you look at Goldfish, I think, because they did do something a little bit more standard, I think they are going to be, ahead overall in terms of who won this draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, one thing I do want to mention here is the fact that there's not that much AP damage or magic damage coming out of Limitless Future side, with pretty much only have the Seraphine to deal out that AP damage. So stack up some armor for Goldfish, and it might be hard to break through these front lines.
Yeah, it's going to be wicked hard, right? Like you're looking at this, like this is basically, I want to say it's all on Omnific here on this Limitless Future side, right? Like all this Wombo combo is set up for this Tristana to pop off, get resets, blow everybody up. You do have some transition, right, between Myth Jones and Snow Life on this Wombo. Fonzo can also go ahead, re-engage with that Encore. So there are a lot of different layers, but at the same time, it's going to be mostly on Omnific to put on those carry pants. We haven't actually seen Omnific really do that. It's been more about Fonzo, Myth Jones. Even Snow Life has had some really important picks and procedures with how he's played. And then on the other side, you know, Shiny Worm, you talked about it great. Like it is such a skill matchup with this versus Kled. And at the same time, though, I'm looking at Mossy on this Lee Sin, and I feel like that pick is just going to be huge because if he can actually snowball top or mid or even bot, there's just not enough damage coming out, not enough scaling coming out on this Limitless Future side to actually deal with the damage and the versatility that this Goldfish Gaming squad has.
Yeah, absolutely here. And like, you know, we said already, it's just going to come down to that execution, the level of execution that each of these teams can show here. And you have to imagine that Goldfish is going to be the one with more momentum coming into this game. With Limitless having a rough past couple weeks, getting swept both weeks, you know, you have to imagine that the wind has been taken out of their sails a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why I actually pick Goldfish, because I feel like they are just on the uptick. They have a lot more momentum coming in. At the same time, though, Limitless has shown a lot of heart in the past where they've managed to kind of claw their way up through that middle of the pack, and now they're kind of free falling a little bit. So if they can get a win right here, it's definitely going to stabilize them, set them up so that going forward, they actually have a chance to actually make playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the line here, one of these teams, a win is crucial for playoffs for both of these teams here. For Goldfish, it'll lock them in. For Limitless, just a chance. They have to win today. So we will be back shortly, but we are going to let the spectator delay run for a little bit. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back for game one between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. Don't go anywhere. And we are on to the Rift for game number 1 between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. For Limitless Future, Martial Arts on Kled in the top lane, Myth Jones on Jarvan in the jungle, Fonzo on Seraphine in the mid lane, and Omnificent Snow Life on Tristana Amumu in the bottom lane. And for Goldfish, Shiny Worm on Wukong, Mossy on Lee Sin in the jungle, Toki on Orianna in the mid lane, and Okami and Hoshinoko on Ashe and Ziggs. Hold on 1 second here. We're going to get an engage into the top side of 5-man. And just like that, Shiny Worm is gone. Omnific going to find first blood.
Elite E. You saw right there, they were trying to start off with a 5-point defense, right, to kind of capitalize on getting vision and seeing if they were going to get invaded. Unfortunately, Shiny Worm was actually late to the party, right? And nobody told him that Limitless was just going to invade like that. So that's a nice first blood going over. Tristana's picking up that second longsword right there. So just going forward, well, they did get some vision exchange, right? So they did get something out of it, but I like the vision setup already here in the top side. They actually already set up vision in that tri-brush and also got deep vision on that red.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good. A nice start for Limitless here in a composition where maybe we didn't quite expect them to do so well. But both junglers going to be starting on their blues. Myth Jones not going to get a leash from his top laner, but should be fine. Gonna get alternating starts though, so this Lee Sin will try to stem the bleeding in this top lane.
Yeah, I mean, Lee Sin can actually invade J4, so it's very interesting that they didn't leash the J4 because typically Lee Sin can actually clear a lot faster than J4, right? So if Lee Sin is actually going to just go ahead and path to the bot side, he might actually run into Myth Jones on the red.
Yeah, it looks like Mossy's just going to go and farm the rest of his camps here, but we'll get trading back in the mid lane. Toki gets slammed. Oh my gosh, the bandage toss from downtown. Gonna force the flash out of Hoshinoko and some damage as well. Yeah, there you go. Amumu, support.
Yeah, they're playing chess. They're playing chess. They making it happen, and yeah, it looks like what? There's some weird stuff going on in the mid side. I think maybe Mossy might rotate over. Actually, spot.
Oh, another bandage toss lands, but this should be a kill here as the bomb is ticking down. Omnific finding their second kill of the game. And Snowlife kind of just aimbotting three times a charm. Okami trying to find the damage back, throwing those small bombs, but not going to be able to find any kills yet.
Yeah, like I was just looking at how they were positioning up. They weren't backing off. It looked like all they wanted to do was keep going forward, right? And Snowlife, we normally see him on something like that Seraphine. He had a really rough game last week, and now he's on something with that engaged potential with this buffed up Amumu, and he's really capitalizing, getting Omnific really ahead right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Snowlife's been putting on a clinic so far. Has 100% kill participation. A little bit of fighting back and forth in the top lane. Martial Arts is going to get unmounted, but that should be back up pretty shortly here. As we can see, Mossy is in this top side area, so potential gank could be coming through. But yeah, the wave is not that good right now. It's going to be pushing in to this Kled, so unless you want to go for like a bush gank or something like that, it's not really going to be going to work out.
Yeah, and Shiny Worm actually elected for TP right here. Normally, I mean, you can go Ignite on him. Maybe he was just like, hey, I'm going to need this for team fight later on. He wasn't looking to actually snowball the lane is what that tells me. He's trying to be more of a threat in that 5v5 after it. And the fact that Martial Arts U is so close to being mounted up again, you see Shiny Worm, he absolutely appears to know this matchup. He didn't try to risk it by going forward. And Fonzo's still making a lot of trade damage over here on this Orianna as well. So, okay, fighting in the top side.
Oh, Shiny looking for it. Marshall's going to get that mount back, going through. First up on a rope is going to land, but not get the pullback. Shiny Worm going to go again here into the bot side. We get a gank. Going to burn out the flash from Okami. Where's Lee Sin? Not yet in the area. So that's going to be a free gank. Oh, with the flash forward from Snowlife. Omnific falling with a flash of their own. But another one. Heals coming out. One more auto should do it, but Omnific cannot find it. The flag will not land either. And for the time being, the Goldfish Gaming bot lane limps out with their lives, but Snowlife trying to make that not the case here as they might look for this dive. onto Okami, but Ziggs is pretty efficient at clearing out. And Mossy is in the area, so I don't think it'd be that good of an idea.
Yo, just a little bit of a disconnect right there. Snow Life wanted to go forward. Omnific was backing off. So it's just about getting your timing down. Like, you have to communicate when you're actually looking, right? Like, hey, I'm looking at this guy. Be prepared for me to go in, right? So he flashed forward. He got that hook. He got the bandage toss. And then Omnific was like, dang, I wasn't expecting that. He has to burn the flash as well. And now they're going to get spotted out with that hawk shot. The nice thing about Ashe is she is going to bring a lot of utility with that poke style, with that Imperial Mandate. And just going forward, Tokidoki is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, no mana on that Orianna, so it's pretty hard to trade back unless you just want to throw autos, but usually that's not the best situation to be in. For the time being, Limitless Future Bot Lane has the push in, could threaten the dragon here as Mossy is on the top side of the map. Not spotted yet though, so they don't know.
I just want to highlight that Shiny Worm just completed his Sheen, right? And he got a long short. Martial Arts has not backed yet.
This could be bad here. Martial Arts going to get the mount up, but Mossy is here. Now Conqueror is going to be fully stacked up, and they're going to try for this 1v2 situation, but a lot of damage coming out from that Kled. The charge is going to go like 10 feet and then get stopped by the Shiny Worm flash. And I don't think this Wukong wins it, but he gets level 6. Unmounted. Cyclone is going to be burned. Pop-up, knockups all the way around, and Shiny Worm is going to find the kill onto Martial Arts. A good job by both of those Goldfish Gaming members here. And with that, Lee Sin being shown on the top side, the first dragon of the game will be picked up by Myth Jones in Limitless Future.
Yeah, I like what Mossy did right there. At first, I was like, what is he doing? Like, he's hitting the wave. But now I see. See, he knew that Shiny Worm was so close to level 6. He kills the wave. Shiny Worm levels up off of that play by Mossy. Then they re-engage, get the kill. Nice job. And yeah, they do end up losing that Drake. But you see what Mossy doing, being super opportunistic, right? He invades, taking that jungle camp, right? So great job by both of these teams to just take advantage of the push and pull that's happening so far in this map.
The push and pull indeed. Mossy might look for a repeat gank here. But Myth Jones is on the top side now. So it would be a clean 2v2. One flash on each side, but looks like instead going to just take the victory of that Gromp. Go back in. Myth Jones sitting on a pink ward right now. Just sitting in the bush, staring at it. Not going to get
collapsed on. It's going to collapse on.
Collapse on coming through. Flag Jack going to find the knockup onto Toki. The slow will not come through with the flash away. As Shockwave is available now. Shiny Worm is here. Cyclone not yet up, but the bandage toss is here. Snow Life encore onto so many members. Shockwave is going to land onto Myth Jones. He's one auto away from death, but Toki will go down. Mossy trying to find the kills back, but no. A 3-for-0 in favor of Limitless Future breaks the game open. Now over 2,000 gold lead, and the Herald will be theirs as well.
Yeah, that did not go as planned, right? Mistakes were made. Fonzo hit that huge encore right there. Ignite goes down, and wow, like, who was that? Was that Snow Life that came out? Yeah, Snow Life actually came all the way from the bot side up to the mid lane to get that re-engage. So that was actually kind of crazy. The fact that Myth Jones baited that out by sitting on that control ward for so long, it made everybody collapse down on him, and it was a bait. It was a bait the whole time. And Shiny Worm is going forward onto Martial Arts here.
Cyclone will knock up the first time, but Martial Arts trying to get that remount. Second knockup is canceled by the dash, and Martial Arts will have to burn the flash to get out of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's a flash burn for an ulti. You take that if you're Shiny Worm. You're like, hey, repeat gank coming up here, right? Like, Martial Arts, you might be free. Like, the ultimate is available, I believe. Yeah, it just came back up. So, I mean, he does still have that. So, if I'm Shiny Worm, I would say, you know, Mossy, if you want to come up here and gank, you can. The bot side looks like they're doing okay. They kind of stabilized now. We got the Lost Chapter complete for Okami Hayazo. And I don't know how to say his name. Even though I've been to Japan, I don't speak Japanese at all. And when you look at this lead that Fonzo is actually acquiring against this Orianna, this is actually huge. Because I thought Toki Joki Loki would actually be in the driver's seat, right? But we see over and over that Fonzo on the Seraphine is just kind of abusing the Orianna, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If we're looking at the CS leads across the map here, it's about even in the top side. Martial Arts is getting that wave pushed in, so Shiny Worm will be able to catch that and catch it back up to even. In the jungle, Mossy, a few camps up. But in the mid lane, the big picture that you were talking about is that lead that Fonzo has accrued here. 26 CS in favor of the Seraphine. And the bottom side, about a 1 wave lead for the Goldfish Gaming bot lane. Gold lead is still in favor of Limitless Future. It is about 2.5k. But we're going to fight here. Shiny Worm is taking really low. Look at this damage from the Kled. Comes through. Batch up on a rope. Oh, the ultimate got canceled by taking that tower shot and unmounting. That is unfortunate. Martial arts ran the other way. Potentially lost out on the solo kill there. But we'll see if he looks to dive. Unmounted Kled, not the best at diving.
Cyclone is almost up for Shiny Worm.
Yes, and Cyclone is close to being available as well as that flash. Myth Jones in this bottom side, gonna drop the Rift Herald to try to get some plates and pressure for his bottom lane. 3 plates left on that bottom lane tower, and you think they might be able to take it on this next wave, depending on, we'll see what happens, as there's no one really in the area to support for Goldfish right now. But in the top side we go. Cyclone gonna find the knockouts. Martial arts is a few autos away, but instead Shiny Worm brings down the chain and takes him out, finds the solo kill for themselves on the other side of the map. The first tower is destroyed. Flash forward from Snow Life. Gonna find the bandit toss onto a minion. Now the teleport plays are coming in. Myth Jones, Dragon Rush back in the backside, but 3-man Cataclysm. And Toki finds the TP, comes through, gets the kill for themselves on the Orianna. But now with the jungler dead from Limitless, Goldfish Gaming looks to take this Ocean Dragon that's gonna spawn in 5 seconds.
Yo, great job right there. Like, they went on the top, they kind of lost on the bot side, and here goes that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They're going to fight again.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow landing onto Fonzo as the Shockwave flashed away. For the time being, Seraphine will survive. Has that Leandri's completed now, so we're going to see some burn damage ticking through as the rest of Goldfish Gaming are on to the Dragon. Snow Life on a flank. Gonna not find the bandage toss first of all, but Mozzie's taking pretty low. He's gonna go down. Rocket jump resets coming through in the encore. A double kill from Omnific, and he is jumping into the backside. Not gonna find any more kills here, but instead, Limitless turn it around and are gonna get this second dragon for themselves.
Yeah, this Lee Sin is having a really rough day at the office. Mossy, unfortunately, it's not going quite the way he wanted. And you see Fonzo on this re-engage. Snow Life, it's kind of being all over with the bandage toss, but it doesn't matter. He's got 2 charges now. You miss one, it doesn't matter. We're flipping that coin again. He hits that second time around. Get a nice little encore there to get that stun, that charm coming back, and Omnific jumping in, being hyper aggressive, right? Getting a kill, getting a reset, getting another one. They're gonna rotate down, pick up the Drake, and they're actually gonna crack that mid side. They're almost gonna crack that mid tier 1. So Fonzo is really having a great game, and Omnific, we haven't seen him like pop off like this before. And now look at this, trading in the river with Shiny and Mossy.
Trading in the river. Mossy is here for backup for Shiny Worm. So Martial Arts is not going to go any further with that aggression. But yeah, the gold lead now over about 4.5k. And Limitless Future is starting to run away with this game. They have 2 dragons, and the plates haven't even fallen yet. Martial Arts taking pretty low. Going to get unmounted. The bear trap on a rope. Going to pull back with the Cyclone. But the members are here for Limitless. Shiny Worm, second charge of the Cyclone, will buy some time. And time is just what he needed to get out of there. Impressive play to get out alive.
Yeah, you look at this. Basically, you fight around Omnific right here. Anytime Omnific is there, that's going to be who they're going to be playing through. So, yeah, if you're Goldfish, you just got to make sure you kill Omnific. Kill him!
Yeah, Omnific is sitting at 4-0 right now. Big on this Tristana. Feeling very, very strong, very powerful. And, you know, this Tristana is going to hurt, for sure.
Snow Life. I think they might turn this. Snow Life is pretty strong, and
yeah, could be here. Shockwave is gonna find 2 members. Mythion diving in the backside, flagging dragon already. Mossy is just exploded. Cataclysm onto Ash. Ash goes down here. A triple kill for Omnific. No, Penta is allowed as Snow Life is gonna find the last hit there. But game broken open even further. 4-0 in favor of Limitless Future. The gold lead is now 6,000 gold under 15 minutes.
Yeah, so this was the Limitless that I was used to seeing. The one that just smashed, you know, everybody below them. Even if they had been losing recently, they're like, hey, we're still a pretty good team, right? We're still in playoff contention, and we're not going to lose our spot without a fight. Goldfish is on the up and come up. But you see right here, it's just about Omnific right here. Like, this is a completely different look that we've seen from this Limitless Future Squad. They're taking every objective, they're sieging down these turrets, and they're making it miserable for Goldfish to try to start something up. Tristana's going to finish that PD. We got a Mumu picking up that Imperial Mandate, kind of what I suspected. It was either that or Locket, right? And the fact that Snowlife went ahead and picked up Imperial Mandate, that's going to be a nice extra bit of damage when he does go in for that bandage toss into that ultimate that Amumu is going to do. So Martial Arts is just trying to stabilize this mid lane to make sure that, you know, they don't get any damage on that tier 1. But now it's going to be, what, 15? Baron isn't even up yet. That's the crazy part. So we got 2 minutes for this next Drake. And it's just basically, hey, wherever Omnific goes, wherever Fonzo is, like, that's where the fighting is probably going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. A 7,000 gold lead as we just passed 16 minutes is pretty ridiculous, to be honest here. This mid lane tower will go down as well and add on to that gold lead, make it almost 10k. Wait, almost 8k, sorry. And yeah, they're feeling solid about themselves right now. Limitless Future is looking really, really good in game 1.
Yeah, they're taking the vision. There's in the jungle, and now there's nowhere that Goldfish can run that Limitless isn't going to find him.
I'm interested to see. Oh, Snowlife. Oh my gosh, that bandage toss was from the next zip code over. And the second one. Oh my goodness. Snowlife is an animal right now. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to find the kills onto Encore. Going to get the charm onto one. Omnific knocking away Okiyami, and he will survive for the time being, but cycling into the backside here. Shiny Worm is here. Knockups onto one. Myth Jones and Snowlife taking pretty low. A few more orders to do with the flash forward. Flag and Dragon to buy some time as well on the backside, but a triple kill for Shiny Worm. That guy's looking real shiny so far, but Martial Arts is on the flank, flashing forward, gonna get the dash through. Shockwave will not go through before death, and now they're charging into the base. Martial Arts is just running through the towers. Hoshinoko is here now, but what can you do? You're a support Ash against Seraphine and Kled. There's not really much, as this top lane inhibitor's tower will be under siege so far. Sonic Wave gonna buy some time as well, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is gonna land onto Martial Arts, as they might look for a continuation here. Bear Trap on a rub, not gonna land, close to unmounting, but Goldfish will stop their aggression and they will just reset.
Holy monkey, like, a quick recap there is like, it's almost impossible, because it looked like Omnific was just taking over that entire exchange, right? And then Shiny Worm comes in with that flank, goes through, hits that Cyclone, finishes off, what, 1, 2, 3 people, and then he gets so low, and not enough in the tank to actually finish that off. But yeah, Shiny Worm did a great job to clean that up, and they just overstayed just a little. This Lee Sin is having a really difficult time finding those engages and the re-engages, and you see they're trying to clear out this vision as this Drake spawns, and I believe Snowlife is probably going to look for another one. Snowlife is cracked with these bandage tosses.
Yeah, but Snowlife is in trouble here. It's gonna go
never
down
mind.
straight away. Cyclone. Shiny Worm is rooted up, so that's going to be a little bit of a waste opportunity, but the Cataclysm, he's going to find 2. Shockwave and Super Mega Death, or Mega Inferno Ball, I'm sorry, will do a lot of damage, but it is not enough as Limitless runs over the fight again, killing 2. Shiny Worm is down. The Monkey is down. That's the carry right now for your squad, as the bot lane and the jungle still look to threaten. Charge is not available, but the 3rd dragon of the game will go over to Limitless. Now they're sitting at an Infernal Soul point. Flag and Jag going through, but a nice job using that satchel charge. Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Oh no!
Gonna buy some time. Oh, nice. Okami, and now the re-engage comes through from Goldfish, but Fonzo finds a snipe onto Okami in the backside. Hoshinoko is gonna go down as the rocket jump comes in from Omnific. But now look at the Orianna. Toki is here, gonna find a kill onto one. Shockwave, but the remount comes through for Kled. Bear Trap on the rope, gonna go wide right. But Toki can kite this out pretty well. No, the shield's coming through from Seraphine. Look at the shielding. Bear Trap on the rope is going to find the final hit on that kill here. And I thought that Toki could run over and get 3 kills there. But the shielding from Seraphine and the healing from Kled was too much.
Yeah, exactly. Toki did a nice job TPNN, but yeah, Fonzo on the Seraphine is just a problem, right? Like, he is the factor that's turning all these small skirmishes around for this Limitless Future squad. We haven't seen them particularly put Fonzo on a Seraphine before, but I mean, just the shielding, the healing, and that extra little bit with that Encore is just so huge. When you get Snowlife hitting these bandage tosses into these huge Amumu Rs. What did? Oh, Curse of the Sad Mummy. Right. And the way this Imperial Mandate is working on here is just such huge burst damage that Omnific is able to put out.
Oh no, Snow Life aggressing onto Hoshinoko. And with the damage from Omnific, that Ash is going to get just absolutely one shot. Now they're going in, charges coming through, but the Cataclysm Myth Jones from nowhere. Martial Arts kind of running back and forth, but it doesn't matter. A double kill for Snow Life, and with 2 members dead from Goldfish. This is going to be the Baron call for Limitless Future. They turn their sights to the Purple Worm. And with the jungle dead for 20 seconds, you have to imagine that this should be a relatively free objective.
Yo, this is actually such a nice look that we're seeing from Limitless in this must-win game, right? Like, Snow Life is hitting all these big bandage tosses, and yeah, I think they're probably going to turn again. This Baron is almost free. Yeah, Snow Life is just...
Okay, Shiny Worm going in. Cyclone's going to find the knockups onto one, but the Encore over the wall gets all 3 members. Oh my goodness, Fonzo putting on a clinic right now on the Seraphine, but the Baron will be secured by Limitless Future and Myth Jones. They're going to reset. They're going to spend all the gold that they have in their pockets right now, and they're going to come back and probably look to end this game.
Yeah, Fonzo is a beast in the mid lane. Like, I was always impressed with the way he piloted some of the mechanically intense champs, right? He's on something like a Seraphine, which isn't necessarily mechanically demanding, but his timing, the way that his decision-making works, he's hitting these encores at, like, the perfect time. Myth Jones coming in, Demacia dunking on him with the kata, with that follow-up between Fonzo, Snow Life, Omnific. It's just so difficult for them on the side of Goldfish to actually respond to this, and now they are wearing their purple, they're sieging it down mid, and we're going to have to see what Goldfish actually has in the tank left. They're down almost 10,000 gold. It's like 9.5k right now. So this is going to be a huge Baron push with Omnific on this Tristana, who is great at sieging down turrets. And I think that they're probably going to have to force something here on the side of Goldfish Gaming. Otherwise, they're just going to lose their base.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Martial Arts on the bottom side, pushing down that tower. Split pushing with Baron is exactly what you want to see from this Kled. Now, Kled has a few kills to their name now, so they can kind of live in the silence against Shiny Worm, or at least be a little more threatening against Shiny Worm. Enchantress Arrow, not going to land onto anyone.
Dragon's up in a minute.
Trying to find a pick here with the flash forward from Myth Jones. Snow Life going in the back. I'm going to find this Curse inside of momentum 2. Shockwave is going to go back and on. Fonzo goes unstoppable. One's down already. Back in Inferno 1 doing a lot of damage to Fonzo with Shiny Worm. No, not enough damage, but the auto from the grave. Diggs will find the kill back onto Fonzo, but there's only Toki left. No Shockwave, no Flash, and there's 4 members of Limitless Future pushing in the base. The inhibitor is down. They have a minion wave wearing purple, and Tristana is going to melt his towers. Bandage toss again! Snow Life! Oh my goodness, this guy's an animal. And with that, the game will be over here. Hoshinoko is up, but what can support Ash do into 4 members? Limitless Future dominant victory in game 1.
Yo, honestly, I've been such a fan of Limitless for so long. I got off the hype train. Maybe I need to get back on after that look that we just see, that creative draft that, you know, it kind of goes for a curve, right? We're like, what is this? I've never seen this before. But Snow Life making these great engages with these bandage tosses with the follow-up, and Omnific putting on those carry pants says, hey, I can carry too, damn it. I'm a carry threat. And now I think you just have to ban out Tristana at the minimum. Maybe they want to let the Amumu go through again, but this Amumu, Snow Life was absolutely a problem in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Snow Life played like an animal in this game, hitting bandage tosses all the way around. 19 kill participation for them. And I mean, Limitless Future is looking strong. It looks like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. You know, they said we lost the past 2 weeks, but we are going to break the streak here. Limitless taking commanding victory in game 1, and with that, we're going to take a short break before we get onto the rift for game 2 between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. Don't go anywhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back now for the pick ban between Goldfish Gaming and Limitless Future. Limitless Future looked strong in game one. We got our cams on. This is the first time you guys get to see what I actually look like here. So we got some bans coming through here. Limitless Future going to take away the Gangplank. And kind of what we all expected is going to be that Amumu ban from Goldfish Gaming, followed up by the Shen.
Yeah, I think that they had to take away that Amumu. Like, that's something that you really can't prepare for, since he just got buffed this patch. So this is going really, really fast. Karma, Action, GP taken away, Victor taken away just as a blind pick, I believe. Fonzo has shown Victor in the past. Fonzo has been really, really strong on control mages in general. Also, it does appear that Goldfish had actually brought in their starting mid laner, or ADC, sorry, correction. So Dirt 212 is actually going to be moving in for Toki Doki Loki, who was a sub. So they are going to go ahead and first lock the Ziggs, and it's looking like a salty run back kind of. So yeah, there goes that Seraphine and the J4 again.
Yeah, I mean, so far, same picks coming out for both of these teams. Seraphine Jarvan looked pretty good, I'm not going to lie. So I'm interested to see if Limitless Future can take that into game number 2. We'll see what Goldfish wants to respond to this with.
Pick my girl. That's my bae right there. Lock her. Go. Let's go. Yes. Oh
okay,
my goodness.
Kiana
Let's go.
So yeah, Ziggs back into this bottom lane again. This time it's going to be for Dirt though. And Okami is going to be on the Kiana, it looks like.
Yeah, Kiana is actually insanely strong. The only bad thing about her is she is a little bit difficult to use. Nami did just get some buffs, right? So she got buffs to her W and base HP. So I believe that's actually enough for her to actually be back in the meta. Also, Lucian got some buffs too as well. So I believe if you were to play like a Seraphine Lucian bot lane, which is something that had kind of fallen out of favor in the meta, it's actually insanely strong, especially if you're going up against this Nami, who I believe is going to be a very, very difficult enchanter support to deal with. It's one of those things like, hey, you got an enchanter, we got an enchanter now too. What's really good, right? Oh man, that's a Malzahar lock too. So Fonzo is actually taking it in, saying, "Yo, this is a Malzahar lock into the Kiana." They're gonna flex pivot that Seraphine down to Snow Life, which is what we thought was going to happen in game one. So this time they actually are going to follow through. And Kiana, I mean, she's just super powerful. So I don't know how Malzahar is going to do necessarily, but it's still going to be rough for Malzahar.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't know if I like Malzahar into Kiana because I'm pretty sure you just get like destroyed if she ever gets onto you, and she has ways to get onto you. But another thing I want to mention is that I don't see this Nami Zigzlin being that good.
Right. I mean, it's a poke lane, right? So it's a poke lane that's going to try to poke you down with those Nami Ws, with the Ziggs Qs and everything like that, and you just sustain up. So basically, the entire idea is you're not going to be able to actually leave the lane against them, because if you do, they're just going to take your turret, because they're just going to be able to sit in lane a lot longer. So that's the premise behind it early. At the same time, I do like the Tristana takeaway. So you're making sure that they aren't going to be able to play Trist again, who, I mean, Omnific just popped off on that, right? So we are going to get to see what is Limitless Future going to pick right here in the top lane or AD. They could pick either one right here.
So I know that Snow Life has some wild picks. Okay.
Mhm.
But what if this is the Malzahar support?
Well, if they do Malzahar support, I believe that actually is trolling, right? Like the Amumu wasn't troll, but the Malzahar support, that's troll though. That's definitely troll. Like I'd be like, yo, you got to report Snow Life if he does that. Like he's a beast on Seraphine, and he did have a tough time against Collective, but I mean that's Collective, right? Like they are literally just a juggernaut in this league. I like the Renekton right here. It's a blind Renekton, and I believe Master Kung Fu guy in the top lane. He is a really solid Renekton player. I was surprised in the CCS we haven't seen too much of Renekton in general. Such a strong pick, and that's going to be Talia jungle. So I really like the way that Goldfish round this out. You get a nice wombo combo. You get a lot of sustain in the bot lane. You get winning lanes in almost every lane, I believe. Like even though their bot side isn't technically winning, it shouldn't be hard losing either.
Yeah, the only thing I could see like just really hard beating this Goldfish bot lane is like an engaged support, but we already see Seraphine locked in, so we don't have to worry about that. With this last pick coming through from Limitless Future, we expect the top lane here.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah,
It's
top
troll.
lane. There you
Yeah.
go. Gonna be Volley Bear into Renekton. So a little animal on animal violence here in that top lane.
Yeah, this should be pretty interesting going forward. So these drafts are a little bit more standard, and when I look at this, I'm just going to see like what Kiana is going to do. Like I've been a huge theory crafter for Kiana in the past. Like a lot of my builds have been played by some of the big name players like Beifeng. And when I look at Kiana, I say one thing. One thing is all that matters. Like getting fed with her is actually not difficult. Her level 2, level 3 is actually so powerful, especially when you're up against a Malzahar who is typically pretty weak in those early levels until you get a Lost chapter, right? But the difficulty about Kiana is actually in that mid to late game. Her mid to late game, it is so tough to carry. And you would think that, you know, with that supreme display of talent, it's super easy to carry out. Not necessarily, because she is a assassin who relies so heavily on that camouflage to actually do a lot of things. Like seeing her picking up that grass empowerment to pick up camo is so big with her. And how you play around that is what separates a good Kiana for a great Kiana.
Yeah, it'll be definitely interesting to see how this goes. And we are now into the client pick and ban here, but we still have a little bit of time while these players actually lock in their picks here. So before we do that, I do want to mention, you guys, the betting service is out right now. You can see everyone's throwing some bets in the chat here, and make sure you get that going. Let us know who you guys got in this game. You already see the drafts and the picks coming through. So do we think Limitless will be able to get this 2-0 sweep, or you think Goldfish has what it takes?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I mean, I got to root for my girl Kiana. I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm looking at this more and more, and I'm like, yo, like, not only do they have the Talia wall, right? But you also got the J4. You can actually use the Cataclysm against J4 here. So this Kiana pick is either going to make or break this Goldfish squad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point here. It's going to revolve around this mid lane. And Malzahar, once you hit level 6,
Right.
they have a lot of pick potential. Limitless Future does. You have Enchanted Crystal Arrow. You have Nether's Grasp from Malzahar. You have Cataclysm, Encore. You have so many ways to get onto a single target and run them down. And if, Kiana is at any point in a bad spot, bad positioning, something like that, then Limitless Future can capitalize and punish really hard.
Yeah, absolutely. You are 100% correct. Like when you look at the way Limitless set it up, like they have damage everywhere. They have CC everywhere. They have hard CC. They have that conditional CC that Myth Jones is going to be bringing on to J4. We've already seen how well they play around J4 in general, right? So when I'm looking at this, it becomes how well is this poke lane in the bot side going to do in combination with the Kiana that we already kind of talked about? Because I feel like if Dirt 2-on-2 now on the Ziggs, they I believe they subbed out Okami, who was there earlier, or Toki.
Okami's playing mid now.
Yeah, Toki Doki Loki, who was piloting the Ziggs before. However, this lane goes in the bot side is going to heavily determine the outcome of it as well, because I believe a lot of the pressure and scaling that Goldfish has is going to come through the siege that Ziggs is going to bring. Like you look at Renekton, not really great late, right? Talia, kind of, sort of, not really too great. She scales okay. It's not great. Kiana, she kind of has really weird peaks and lows, right? So she starts off really strong. Her mid game is kind of like in just because of the way lethality works, but as she gets more and more, she does become more of a one-shot carry as you get 6 items. So there's not a ton of late game scaling, but when you compare that to something like a Malzahar, like that's a big late game carry that you don't even have to actually be around anybody to do damage. You just let those space crickets or whatever they're called just do the work for you.
Yeah, the space crickets tend to be valuable when you're playing Malzahar here. But you make a lot of good points there, for sure. It's going to be very interesting to see what Limitless Future can do with this composition. I do like it better because there's more of a mixed damage profile from Limitless Future. So they took one thing that I said out of the draft in game 1, but then again, they were able to smash in game 1. So we'll see how that goes. But before that, we have to take a short break to get through this spectator delay here. So grab some water, but be back in a few minutes for game 2 between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for game 2 between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. For Goldfish Gaming, Shiny Worm on Renekton in the top lane, Mossy on Talia in the jungle, Okami on Kiyan in the mid lane, and Dirt and Hoshinoko on Ziggs, Nami. And for Limitless Future, Martial Arts on Volibear in the top lane, Myth Jones on Jarvan again in the jungle, Fonzo on Malzahar in the mid lane, and Omnific and Snow Life rounding out the bottom side with Ashe and Seraph.
And it looks like that standard 5-point defense again from Limitless. Actually not going for the invade. And yeah, on the side of Goldfish, they're actually hip to it this time. They're like, oh, we're going to set up that deep vision, or I'm sorry, that defensive vision and that tri-brush so you can't get that early invade. But otherwise, just a standard 5-point defense.
Yeah. I mean, Shiny Worm wasn't late walking this time. So that definitely helps. But yeah, for the time being, looks like just going to gather some information, see what they can find. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to find much, as most of these junglers are just going to go back to their camps, start on the bottom side, and potentially meet each other on that top crab in a few short minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing that I'm looking at from Goldfish right here. Whether they did it by choice or not, is the fact that they drafted a comp that is very skirmish heavy, very snowbally, and doesn't scale great, right? Like, their win con is to win pre-30, 35 minutes. Like, if it goes past 30, I'd say they're already kind of in a losing battle, right? Like, they need to be able to snowball each of these lanes, get ahead, get out of the lane phase, and take as much as they can with the Ziggs, right? Like, that's the idea. So if ever they fall behind, I feel like they kind of drafted themselves into a corner, and Limitless did a great job of just drafting a very solid all-round sort of comp. You know, nothing great, nothing spectacular necessarily, but at the same time, like, they have a lot of different ways to beat you down, to take control of the game. And as we're going forward, like you talked about, they're probably going to meet up in the top side. I think that's exactly what's going to happen with these big exchanges with Shiny Worm and Martial Arts.
Yeah, absolutely. You can already see Shiny Worm trying to set up for that early play. Martial Arts stunning a minion, so that's unfortunate here, but the early level 2 goes over to that Limitless Future bot lane. They're going to be able to get that wave somewhat into the tower. But it's okay. Both junglers... Actually, no. Mossy looking to maybe look for a gank here. Root's going to land onto Dirt. Some damage traded back, but Talia is in the area. Mossy, let's see what he can find, but we're fighting back up in the top side here. As we're going to throw some rocks. A nice job by Omnific. Or sorry. Yeah, Omnific to flash away. But the bubble's going to land here in the first blood with the ticking down Ignite. And throwing rocks is going to go over to Mossy.
What a creative little gank right there set up by Mossy. You don't really see Talia too often, and especially a cheese gank like that, right? With a wraparound. Had to burn the flash on the side of Omnific right there to get away, but it was already too little too late. That bubble came down, and Mossy just said, oh, here we go again.
Look at this. This is a nice dive setup here. Martial Arts is going to find the stun. Myth Jones is there for some, friendly moral support in the flag, but Shiny Worm going to get taken down. I don't know if the flash is necessary because he was already right on him, but that's a big wave that's pushed into the tower, going to force the Shiny Worm teleport out. Yeah,
just great job by Myth Jones to kind of make a gank of his own. Says, hey, I can get creative too. And they make that wraparound as they're pushed in. Shiny Worm was already pretty low, right? And Martial Arts just capitalized on that. Unfortunately, it does go over to Myth. I think Martial Arts probably wanted that. That's why he flashed, but I don't think he needed to flash anyway. So he has to burn, Shiny Worm has to burn that TP to get back because that was a pretty big wave. And immediately it's pushed in. Martial Arts actually has to burn his TP in response because Shiny Worm had pushed it in so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the CS numbers here, Martial Arts is going to be ahead here. There's a big wave shoving back into him. But look at the damage coming back on that trade. Press the attack, doing so much work. And the second bite comes through. And, you have to think that a solo kill could be coming in pretty soon here. Shiny Worm limping out with his life. Look at this in the mid lane. A solo kill in a different lane than I was thinking. Okami going to find the solo kill onto Fonzo.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. You go forward, you get that electrocute burst, and you get all that lined up with your rock biter weapon, and you just explode them right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I knew there was going to be a solo, but not there. Oh! Gonna get hit with the bubble at Hoshinoko. Finds the bubble as well as the flash away, but Snow Life is going to smack him down with those power cores. Going to find that kill back. Dirt, no mana though, has to be careful. Snowlife wants to get this wave pushed in, but Mossy is on the bot side again. Still a bit a ways away, but at least on this side of the map, if anything were to go down, Snowlife trying to push this wave in, doing what they can. And I want to see Martial Arts try to freeze the wave top lane. It's hard on Volibear, but I want to see him try to freeze the wave top lane and just absolutely punish Shiny Worm.
Yeah, that would be a really great idea because the way that Myth Jones has been pathing, it looks like that could be actually an opportunity. The only bad thing about that would be if Shiny Worm wanted to rotate and actually try to maybe make a gank mid. The way Kiana is playing, though, I feel like, you know, Okami is just so bloodthirsty for this Malzahar that Fonzo is on. I feel like, you know, Fonzo is going to need a lot of help. So if Martial Arts can just push Roam at mid and just help Fonzo, like, that could be the play that they go for. As the Drake has just spawned and everything, and pings are going down on it already.
Yeah, Limitless Future likes to make these early dragon plays here, and you can already see Myth Jones on it and, you know, spam pinging for it. We're going to see members rotate over, though, as Okami is going to be first in this mid lane to rotate over. 1,600 health on the dragon, as Myth Jones might look for the stun here. Okay, Super Premium Suite of Talent's going to get 3 members, but then Nether's Grab's going to be stopped. Myth Jones taking pretty low, has to flash out, but smites the dragon instead on the top side, just fighting back and forth here. But the dragon stolen by Limitless Future because of bad smite by Mossy. Oh my gosh, Fonzo gets it. Now Myth Jones going after in the
damage.
Flag and dragon.
Oh, goodness.
Finds the kill on him somehow. I don't know how that happened, but Shiny Worm on the other side is going to find a solo kill. Fonzo knocked back in, and Mossy is running down, throwing rocks, but it's silenced for the time being. That one misses, but the last 2 connect, and Mossy goes on a killing spree. Now Omnific trying to find dirt on the backside of the team fight. Not going to find anything there, but a big swing for Goldfish Gaming there. Shiny Worm finding a solo kill, and Mossy getting 2.
Yo, this Talia is popping off. Mossy is saying, hey, I got a pocket pick that you have not seen since, what, season 8, maybe? And that Talia is just popping off with the deeps, right? They underestimate Talia's damage all the time. Like, everybody forgets how strong her damage is. And, yeah, just going forward, Mossy is doing a great job of putting out pressure. It's unfortunate that Drake goes over to Limitless. Fonzo did a great job to just stick in there, but the way that it just got turned around, like, they ended up paying quite heavily for that first Drake, and I'm not necessarily sure if that is worth, but I mean, this squad needs to skirmish. They need to build these leads. So they're about 2K up right now, and they need to look for fights everywhere. They need to challenge Limitless at every different junction.
Fonzo, no. Weaver's Wall is gonna be popped here as Okami has to go over the wall, knocked back, and just destroyed here. Another kill goes over to Okami. And yeah, this is starting to balloon a little bit. A 2,000 gold lead at just under 8.5 minutes in favor of Goldfish Gaming. One thing I want to mention in that last, you know, dragon fight was that Mossy was stuck in the pit and 4 members of Limitless were on the outside of the pit, like blocking any escape, and there was no flash. So I don't really understand how Mossy was able to live and didn't just get punished, but here we go. Gank in the top side. Shiny Worm could be in trouble. Slice and dice out. Flag and Drag will not land, but the Dominus now is popped in. So much damage. Hit him back in the mid. And he's just dead. Now Shiny Worm looking for the 2v1 as now Okami's going in. Flash forward from Martial Arts. Going to find the solo kill there. But what is the cost? Okami is here. Ignite is available, but Supreme Play of Talent as well, but not even going to need to use this. One more auto will take down the bear. Okami goes on a killing spree.
Yo, that was such an intense little fight right there. Shiny Worm picked up the kill, dies for it, but I like the roam by Okami right there to actually go for it, get that kill in the top side on the trade. And yeah, there's no TP on either one of these top laners, so Okami gets the double buffs and responds. Fonzo got a little bit out of that. You got to play it, and it looks like on the bot side, Dirt and Hoshinoko are going to get one as well. And I believe Mossy was there earlier as well to make sure that that lane got pushed in. So there is a lot of trading going forward, and it looks like, you know, just like we said, you know, this Goldfish Gaming squad is kind of making it happen, right? They're taking these small skirmishes, turning them into big, big things, right? And I believe, yeah, it looks like the Rift Hero just spawned, right? So hopefully they're going to transition over and hopefully push down the Rift Hero to try to unlock Dirt 2 and 2 in this bot side specifically. Because Enchanted Crystal Arrow's just a bit wide.
Yeah, that Enchanted Crystal Arrow not finding the market, but Myth Jones in the bottom side, missing the flag and drag once again. Hokushinoko flashes away from that Seraphine stun, but I've seen like a lot of flag and drags miss here, and now martial arts could be in trouble here. And they use the Stormbringer to run for the hills, dodging out of all of the abilities from Talia. Here we go, flag and drag again. Cataclysm's gonna bring two this time. The Encore will find both again. Myth Jones is gonna find the kill on the Hokushinoko, but oh my gosh, that is a Mega Inferno Bomb if I've ever seen one. A double kill comes back for Dirt. Gonna find the bouncing bomb onto Snowlife as well, but Snowlife limps out with just under 10 HP. Martial Arts trading back with Shiny Worm, gonna get a lot of health in favor of himself. That does so much damage.
Yeah, like the interesting thing about Dirt 2 and 2 is he actually didn't back and get a lost chapter. Normally that's the thing that we see. Dominus popped in the top
here
side.
we go. Dominus, Shiny Worm looking for it, stun. Will Boston time for martial arts, but the dice comes through. Talia is in the area as Mossy could look for something as the Weaver's Wall is popped. In he goes. Unraveled Earth trying to find some damage, but no, the shield comes through from the Volibear and he lives somehow.
He's alive! Yeah, so he lived just barely. We get some fancy footwork out of this Volibear. Martial Arts definitely has some footwork going on. He doesn't actually have any MR just yet, so if the Talia does get on him, it's going to be a lot of damage, but he just dodges everything. Dip, dive, dodge, and dodge. I don't know how it actually goes, but that's what he did right there, right? Dirt 2-on-2 on the bottom side, just making things happen with that Mega Inferno Bomb. Exploded 2 people. And yeah, it does look like they did go ahead and pick up that Rift Herald like I wanted. So hopefully they can drop this bot side or maybe even mid to get this map opened up for the siege.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as well, bot or mid. You have the dragon spawning now. It's an ocean. And Goldfish, you know, is going to be pretty easily will be able to take that objective, but now a dive is being set up in this bottom side here as the Rift Herald has been popped and 4 members strong. Bubble flashed away by Snowlife, but that's a supreme display of talent. Mega Inferno Bomb comes through from Dirt from behind the tower, finds the kill, and the first tower of the game will be cracked open by Goldfish Gaming. But on the other side, both solo laners are pushing into the tower. Teleport from Shiny Worm will burn to get, you know, to stop some of that push in the top side and maybe look for a 1v1 again. But Volibear, can he sustain and heal a lot? He's taking a full minion wave though, and the tower. We're just for fun tower diving. Stormbringer to safety yet again, and these fights in the top side are so intense, so close. Myth Jones on the backside. Okay, nice. Cataclysm is burned, but an easy usage of that slice from Shiny Worm gets out of any danger. Little blue buff steal from Dirt and Hokushinoko feels pretty good, but the members are rotating up to this top side for Goldfish Gaming. I mean, the gold lead is now 5.5k. I really just want to see Limitless Future like chill and just start farming it up, try to scale for a team fight. And look for picks. Look for picks.
That would be the ideal way that they should play this comp, right? Like they want to make sure like it's nice and slow, controlled aggression, right? Vision control, all these things. But what Goldfish is doing is just being insanely proactive. They're roaming up with Mossy, with Okami on these picks and unlocking these lanes, right? And Dirt, huge right there. On that Rift Herald push, ends up getting 2 towers along with 2 kills, right? So Ash completes that shield bow. Everfrost is going to be for the Talia. Mossy, I mean, he's huge right now too. So Dustblade, everybody on Goldfish is actually insanely fed except for Shiny Worm, but he's playing really well too. So there's a lot of things that you have to be on the lookout for if you're Limitless right here, because Goldfish is just ahead of you. They're stronger than you. It's 3k, right? But it's not just 3k. They have a lot of power early. So the lead doesn't necessarily tell the whole story, right? When you're looking at Fonzo and Malzahar, right? It's a scaling champ. It needs 3 items generally to be super strong. And Kiana only needs about 1. Actually, Kiana spikes really, really great on Serrated Dirk alone. So she is going for the Manamune build. So what my build was it was your lethality.
Hold on 1 second. Myth Jones might be in trouble. Gonna have to bring the flash to get away from the tidal wave and seismic shove. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it would be your lethality item into Manamune into Shrelda's Grudge. And you see that now all the time, right? But when I came out with that back in December, people were like, oh, you're trolling because you're not building full lethality. Now we see that on other characters like Jace, like Varus, and all these things. So I just want to say, I put that out long before anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the creator here. He knew.
I knew.
A little bit of
I
foresight. A little bit of foresight went out.
Well, it was Essence Reaver to start, but then Manamune got buffed again. So I was like, yo, Manamune's OP.
There you go. Either way, the gold lead is about 5.5K still here. We're getting waves shoved in on all sides. Martial arts able to take a lot of the beating from this Kiana relatively well here, but Weaver's Wall, Omnific, and Snowlife could be in trouble. Flashing away, but the Mega Inferno Bomb does some damage, and Tentacle's Arrow flying past my window. But the bot lane of Limitless Future get out with their lives.
Yep, and it was a bait the entire time. What their prize was this tier 1, right? Like, they want to get this mid turret down, and Dirt's here. It's going to just go ahead and fall right here. They did actually burn that flash.
He messed up the satchel.
Yeah, he definitely messed up the satchel just a little early there, buddy.
Either way, the tower will fall, and the gold lead is now up to 5.6, 5.7K. Still around even. You're going to get 300 gold from that tower. But either way, the next dragon of the game will be spawning in about 30 seconds as the Cloud Winds quicken on the Rift here. We're going to get a potential Cloud Soul in this game for one of these teams here. Dragon count sitting at 1-1. Towers in favor 3-0 of Goldfish Gaming, as well as the kills 13-4 in their same favor. Myth Jones trying to find something, some vision, trying to get some control in this bottom side, but it looks like it's just going to have to be a give again, as all the members of Goldfish are in this bot side river already. Mossy sitting in the wings. Weaver's Wall is not available yet, but look at this. They're trying to find picks here, looking in the bushes as Martial Arts and Shiny are back at it again. Dominus is going to be popped as the sun comes through. Enchanted, as well as the teleports now coming in from Fonzo, as the ultimate is available here. Flash away from Shiny Worm, but all that, you know, was just buying time for them to take the dragon. Shiny Worm could be in trouble here as Myth Jones now is in the area. No flash on the Renekton, no slice and dice either. That was just burned as the Flag Drag will land through. Nether's Grab's coming through, suppressing, and Fonzo will get the kill credit there. But wait a minute, you sent all 5 members of your team into the top side. And Goldfish says, okay, we'll just take the mid tower.
Yeah, Shiny Worm, a little bit of a misplay right there. He could have just backed away. Instead, he kind of went forward right there, and Malzahar was still there with his ultimate. So as soon as they saw that, they corralled him in, got that easy, what is it, Malefic, whatever vision, Nethergrass, sorry. They got that Nethergrass down, finished the kill, and a nice job by Dirt to recognize, hey, we need to make sure we capitalize. And this was what I was going to say. I want to see them take this Rift Hero. It just spawned maybe 30 seconds ago. I was hoping Shiny Worm was actually trying to get them to rotate down to pick up this Rift Hero, because the siege is so powerful right now since they are so strong with Dirt and Kiana and everybody, right? So far ahead. So you force this fight right here. Whether you win it or lose it, hopefully you win it. But you pick up this Herald, and now you're able to actually siege down those inhibitor towers. And that's what they need to do. They need to get at least 1 inhibitor tower, in my opinion. If they get 1 before this Baron spawns, like, that is just huge. And I like the Imperial Mandate coming out of Nami right here. Sometimes you see, you know, the Moonstone or things like that. Imperial Mandate makes a lot of sense with this team because they don't have anybody who is a traditional AD carry. So it doesn't make sense to go for an Ardent build or anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good little adaptation here from the Goldfish Gaming support. For the time being, though, things have and will relax just a little bit, as Goldfish Gaming still sitting in the driver's seat. The Herald will be spawned into that top lane, but that tower was going to go down anyway. Weaver's Wall looking for Fonzo, as the Nether's Grasp will buy some time. And oh my gosh, there you can see the power of the lockdown CC, as Omnific will get kill credit and the shutdown onto Mossy. Now, Limitless looking for Okami here, as that's another fat shutdown that they can grab if they are able to. But a 4v5 in favor of Limitless Future for the next 15 seconds. Could look for something else.
Mossy got a little impatient right there. Tried to force something out. I mean, TP is available on Shiny Worm, and Okami was semi-close, right? So maybe they thought that they could either burst Fonzo down or, get a response by their team to actually maybe kill Fonzo on the Malzahar. But he still has ultimate. And, that Nether Grass is available. He just pops it right there. Mitchell comes in, easy clap, right? So that's a big bounty that just went over. So it's a momentum changer, right? Like the momentum has just shifted based on that one pick. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you have all this momentum that Goldfish had, and then you give over a big bounty right there, it just resets everything. And I also want to highlight the nice deep vision, the defensive vision that Goldfish has. That Limitless has right here. So Limitless had set up this deep vision all inside their jungle to make sure that they were able to track any invades. And unfortunately, Goldfish hasn't actually cleared out anything. So even though they do have the lead, they can't actually push in for deeper vision because Limitless has done such a great job of controlling their own jungle.
Yeah, good point there. We can see Limitless walking into that top side river, trying to gain some Nash control and some vision up there. I want to see, obviously, we're going to see a Wits End pickup from Omnific. I like it a lot. I think it's very, very good in this game. Yeah, since you're landing against Ziggs, you also have to play against Italia. Both are good. Enchantress Arrow is going to find its mark onto Dirt, but a nice use of the pen. Flagging Drag, they're still going. Encore flashed away by Dirt, and the Mega Inferno Bomb on the backside going to deal some damage back. Dominus, as Shiny Worm teleports into the play. What can he do? He has one more dash, I think, but now Weaver's Wall is going to cut him off. Tidal Wave is going to find knock onto a lot of members. Oh, and Cataclysm cannot even go off, but the supreme display of talent on the Weaver's Wall is ridiculous. Doing so much, finding so many picks here, and 3 members dead now for Limitless Future. No life, running for the hills.
Okami's going to die of this.
Yeah, Okami looking for it, but another's grass will go down. 850 gold to the Malzahar. Feels pretty good, and that's going to pretty much repel any push into the base, at least for the time being. A bit aggressive there, and yeah, we're seeing, Nether's grass is pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely, and I was hoping they were actually going to do after that push and just run over to Baron. They didn't do it. Okami was already behind enemy lines when he went forward, so no Baron, unfortunately, and here comes this engage.
Okay, nice job by Shiny Worm there to dodge out of that Enchantress area, but now Fonzo looks like he could be in trouble here. Mega Inferno Bomb is not going to land, but it doesn't matter because the rock's going to be thrown. Flash forward from Myth Jones, burning the Cataclysm, and Hoshinoku could be in trouble now. No flash available on the Nami, and there's 4 members strong from Limitless chasing her down. The Blast Cone could be the safety net, as it is, but martial arts flashing over the pit. Gonna find the stun, but one more auto should do it. Hoshinoko's healing up as Dominus now popped for Shiny Worm. Myth Jones is hunting for the kill. Gonna find it as well with Flag and Drag, but now Okami is here. It's a 2v4 in favor of Supreme. Play of talent is gonna find a lot of damage, but already the frontliner is dead. Shiny Worm as Okami now into the 1v3, but the members are here. The bot lane has arrived, as well as the jungler is Masi. A lot of damage for everyone here. Weaver's Wall gonna be popped. Gonna get stunned up though and just exploded. One shot, martial arts. Gonna find the kill here as the teleport comes in from Fonzo. Nether's Grasp is available. So you just gotta find 1 member in range. And there's 3 members dead from Goldfish Gaming. And just like that, Limitless is gonna start Baron.
Oh, this is a little bit dangerous, but not that dangerous. They should be able to do a little bit, but that was such a scrappy. Oh my god!
Against Inferno Bomb, so much damage, but the Baron is going down at a decent speed here. 6k as Dirt finds the kill onto Snow Life, and with that pick, it looks like they're gonna have to turn off. Dirt will go down as Shutdown goes over to Fonzo. For the time being, though, Goldfish successfully gets Limitless off of the Baron. But another shutdown is given over to Limitless Future and Fonzo.
Yep, exactly. Like that was actually so big. There's just a little bit of missed timing between them. Masi is making some nice plays with Kami, making some nice plays on their own. There's not the coordination seems like they need to wait like 2 more seconds, 3 more seconds before they make some of the decisions, right? So that everybody else can be in position to actually help them. They are very strong. So it's one of those things where, you know, you're in game, you're like, man, I'm super strong, and I just want to go forward. And you think you can 1v5, 1v9 when you can't just yet. You know, there's enough CC on the side of Limitless to lock you down long enough for them to actually kill you. And that's the problem that this Goldfish team is actually running into. So the nice part about that is they did stop that Baron. J4 picks up a stairs, so he's going to be super tough to actually kill now. He doesn't have a ton of MR or anything like that. He does have the Merc Treads. And yeah, so I would say just going forward, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with this. And hopefully there are going to be some healing reductions. Maybe Hoshinoki is going to pick up, what is it called? The Chemtech thingy that the support items. I always butcher the name. It's like Putrefier or Dance or some crap like that.
Oh, yeah. Chemtech sure. Uh-oh. Martial Arts could be in trouble here. Supreme Display of Talent is going to find it. He runs into the stun, unfortunately, but he's alive. The Stormbringer gets him to safety. No! The Leandri's burns him down, and that is a dead top laner. But now we're going to look for a play on the top side. Chetsker's arrow is going to land. Stun comes through here, and we're going to see how much Shiny Worm gets out of this team here. Enchanted Cataclysm. I'm just messing up everything, but it doesn't matter because he's going to die either way regardless. Whatever, Fonzo is going to get credit for that kill. And now it's a 4v4. Both top laners are dead, but Martial Arts is back first. Myth Jones threatening, but no Cataclysms available, no Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Ulti check, only Tidal Wave for Goldfish Gaming. So ultimate advantage is in favor of Limitless here. Goldfish going to walk back up into this topside river, secure vision control for themselves around Baron, as Martial Arts is now up. 17 seconds still on Shiny Worm. We'll see if they opt to do anything with this numbers advantage, but it doesn't look like they will. Interesting bush camp from Limitless here. But yeah, just farming for the time being.
It's really interesting that Shiny Worm was pushed up so far. You want to get something done on that split push, absolutely. But as soon as you see, you know, those one person, as soon as you see Martial Arts on the bot side and it was only him, you have to back off right there, right? Like, you have to back off because there are 4 people on the side of Limitless that aren't accounted for. And by all intents and purposes, they're probably coming for you on the split push if you don't have vision on them. Still really solid defensive vision by this Limitless gaming squad. And it is going to be the Dragon Soul point coming up in about 50 seconds here with the Cloud Soul. So I know that Goldfish wants to go ahead and push that vision in to make sure that they can spot it out. There's not a lot of vision on the bot side to actually track this Limitless future squad on that bot side jungle. So hopefully they take the initiative, set some vision up down there so that when this Drake does spawn in now 30 seconds, they're able to either make a pick or to just burn it straight up outright.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to come down to this dragon. I mean, it's a Cloud Soul, so it's not going to be too impactful. It'll feel good on a few of the members of Goldfish for sure. But you know, it's not an Infernal, so it's not doomed if Goldfish, or it's not doomed for Limitless if Goldfish get this soul. It makes it hard with the ultimate cooldowns for sure, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. The good thing about it, though, is it adds a layer of win con for them, right? Because now the Elder is going to be on the table. So Elder is actually super big for this team going forward, and it looks like maybe they might be going again for Shiny Worm on this top side.
Yeah, Shiny Worm could be in trouble here, but is actually wise to it and backs up. I was trying to see if they wanted to just trade for Baron, but now it looks like they might be getting collapsed on here. Kiana is in the sides, and Shiny Worm a bit too far forward. Could go down here, but we'll see.
His team is here.
Kill him. No, not yet here. Okami comes through as the Weaver's Well coming in. Nether's Grasp is really good and is dead. Kiana is dead already. Fonzo's going to go golden as well as Jet Crusader is going to fly. Martial Arts is in the front lines trying to take up as much damage as they can, but look at the side. Mossy finds kill onto the back side here, and this looks really good. A triple kill for Dirt, and it is just a full team ace, 5 for 1 in favor of Goldfish Gaming. The teleports are coming through, and this should be the game here. Pretty long death timers for all of these members. About 30 seconds for at least 3 of them. So actually, maybe not the game here, because this is not going too fast, but we'll see what happens as this inhib is under siege. There's not too many minions, but a new wave has come in, and it looks like
for the victory push,
for the victory push here. 5 seconds on Malzahar as his first Tech tower is going down. The second tower is falling shortly after, but Seraphine and Malzahar are now available. Ziggs has the satchel charge if he wants to blow, but it does not find the kills here, and they're clearing out the waves. The game is not over yet as Shiny Worm getting slowed up, could be in trouble, gonna get stunned down. Mega Inferno Bomb not gonna do anything to martial arts here. And Limitless lives to see another day in this game.
Yeah, I mean, pings are going down. They got a brush set up. I think they're going to try to re-engage or something.
Yeah, this could be intense here as the Supreme Set of Talent is available.
Ooh.
He's going to find a stun onto 2. Omnific is really low, and into the backside goes Mossy. Mossy's going to go on a killing spree and find one. A 3-man stun by Okami, and a double kill now for Myth Jones with only 2 members left from Limitless. Now you have to think this is certainly the game-ending push for Goldfish Gaming here as they're chasing down Snowlife, but it doesn't matter. Snowlife is going to live, but either way, Dirt is just going to be able to... Oh my god. He messed up the satchel again, but it's okay. Martial Arts trying to buy some time here, but still a lot of time on everyone. 2-man encore, but really, what is it going to do? Just delay the inevitable as Snowlife will go down, and the Nexus will explode. Goldfish Gaming strike back and take game 2.
Whoa, we just saw a display of supreme talent right there between Okami and Mossy, right? Like, they just took over the game, and that follow-up damage by Dirt on the Ziggs pick. He says, hey, you know what? We had a sub in there before. This is the real AD, right? This is how you play Ziggs. And he messed up some satchels here and there. But when it came time to do the damage, do the deeps, the Dirt 2-1-2 is there. And Hoshinoko, right? On this Nami just got buffed just slightly. And like I said, I'm a huge fan of her. I was always kind of a big fan of her. But yo, this is going to game 3 in this best of 3. Goldfish taking it to him on this game 2 right here. And yeah, looking at the damage, look at that right there by Dirt. Whew, holy monkey, he put up the deeps.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's just the power of Ziggs in the bottom lane doing so much damage. Good usage of that cleanse in a few of those team fights, getting him out of some sticky situations. And we get a game 3 here. So we're going to take a short break and be back on the Rift for game 3 in a few minutes. So grab some water, do what you got to do, and we will be right back.
us in, I guess, Letty.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are into the pick ban for game number 3 between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. Limitless taking game 1 in demanding fashion, and Goldfish taking game 2 in demanding fashion. So it comes down to this here. We will see where it goes, which team is going to gain the extra win in their stat card here. We're seeing the picks and bans come through already. Akshan and Kiana and Talia from Limitless Future. And for Goldfish, Victor and Shen, and still waiting on that third one.
Hopefully it's a Mumu. I don't think that they should let a Mumu through just because of how dominant Snow Life played on it last time. Yeah, so they are going to go ahead and do that. And Limitless Future is getting zigs every game, so that's awesome. But yeah, I really like how Goldfish is just taking it to him every single time. And that's going to be that Seraphine GP just got a lot of changes, right? So he is going to have the Q change where he actually counts as a range now. And his barrels now actually scale up to 5 charges. Also, he's going to have crit scaling, bonus crit scaling in there as well. I really like that Xin Zhao right there. Really strong jungler. Trundle is available, so if Goldfish Gaming want to go ahead and lock in that Trundle, that has been a really nice soft counter to that Xin Zhao. And going forward, I believe that it's probably going to be another Enchanter pick on the side of Limitless Future.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're seeing a lot of, some like ranged action coming out from Limitless Future here. Xerath is being hovered. We'll see if that ends up getting locked in here. But
takeaway.
Yeah, so it is going to be the Xerath picked up for Limitless Future here. That could go on support, that could go mid. So we're still waiting to see where they opt to flex that one. But we'll see what this last pick for Goldfish Gaming is, and it's looking like it will be the jungler so far. Rek'Sai is going to be the lock in there in the face of that Xin Zhao.
Yo, so I just want to clarify something. So Seraphine is actually locked on the side of Goldfish Gaming, right? Like it had actually been Seraphine every single time on Limitless Future. So I had just gotten so used to seeing that on the side of Limitless that I just saw Seraphine and I was like, oh, they're getting it again. But that's not actually the case. So Rek'Sai is actually, we'll see how Mossy does right there. We got this little chain stun of pick bans going on with Set, Cho'Gath, and now Yon taken away. So these are some real specific bans that are coming out from the side of both of these teams. And I do like the Ashpay takeaway, but there are so many 80 carries that are available right now that could combo so well into this Goldfish Gaming squad.
Yeah, I like Ash into Ziggs because you can build that Wit's End. I wanted to see Omnific rush Wit's End instead of Shield Bow in that last game. I think it would have helped a lot in the lane. But either way, we did not see that. So we're just going to wait on this first pick from Goldfish Gaming, and it is going to be Tristana in the bottom lane.
No, a little bit of strategy going on right here by Goldfish. They said, hey, we saw you pop off with Tristana and Seraphine before. We're just going to go ahead and take those off the table. And that's a LeBlanc cover. This is kind of reaching right here. I don't think LeBlanc works with their comp, in all honesty. Oh, there goes that Rengar that I was talking about. So Rengar just got a lot of changes. He's super, well, he's not super easy to play. He's easier to play, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I actually haven't I haven't looked at the Rengar changes. So you're going to have to fill me in on that in a little bit here. But waiting on this mid lane pick is the last pick for Goldfish Gaming. Lissandra's the hover so far. And I think I do like Lissandra into LeBlanc.
Yep, I mean, that's a kind of a soft counter that has been kind of traditional, right? Like, Lissandra's always kind of been a soft counter to LeBlanc, and we've seen this matchup time and time again. Lissandra just got some buffs on that Q, the mana change. She gets a little bit base AD more, so it's going to be a little bit easier to actually last hit with her, which has been a problem in the past. The Rengar changes, essentially, you only need 3 stacks instead of 4 now. So to activate that reactivation, you only need 3. I like a lot of the changes, and I'm oversimplifying it just because I kind of have to. On the side of Limitless, they have a lot of different things, and it's actually very difficult to execute this comp. Like, they have a 1-3-1 comp and with Poke, which is super weird, right? And I feel like Goldfish just outdrafted them. Like, head to bottom, like even with the Rek'Sai, like everything else on Goldfish Gaming is just so strong. And Limitless is going to have to play this draft very well to have really solid communication with everybody to actually. I don't like the way they did this in Game 3, and I think Goldfish. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing them. I don't know, but I like their draft a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this bot lane is going to be pretty oppressive, though, for Limitless future. Zig Zerath is going to be pretty rough to lane against, especially as, Tristana, who in the early stages of the game doesn't have too much range. It kind of seems like if one, CC ability hits, if the stun from Zerath hits, one of the Goldfish members are just going to get exploded. So, just depending on if Snow Life can hit the stuns.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like it's one of those things where whoever gets stunned up first could die. The nice thing about Goldfish Gaming's bottom lane is they do have some sustain there, right? Whereas you look at Limitless and it's basically all poke damage, and both of them can struggle with mana early, right? Like Xerath, Ziggs, like it's not so much a damage issue as it is a mana issue. Like AP casters are always at the mercy of their mana. Where you're looking at Dirt 2 and 2 on this Tristana, we already saw Omnific pop off on it earlier. So the fact is, like, if Hoshiniko can land, that get somebody rooted up, Tristana can just jump in, blow them up, especially if they're low HP. So the only bad thing about this Tristana is she just naturally pushes the wave, right? So what I would like to do is actually try to freeze it out closer to your turret so that they have to walk up, but that's not going to be the case just because Tristana naturally pushes the wave. Even if you're like timing it like with that much left, it's still really one of those things where you're just going to naturally push it. And looking at this mid side, I actually do like this matchup a lot. You got two snowbally junglers. You got Okiyahazo on this Lissandra. So anytime LeBlanc distorts in, you have to be super aware of where Mossy is on this Rex side, because if you get rooted up, it's going to be a change CC into probably your death.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of CC comes out from this mid jungle duo from Goldfish Gaming, and I think that could be pretty strong, definitely, as we go in, into the level 1 through 5 of this game. These junglers are going to want to fight over those scuttle crabs, and to have the Lissandra to just bring that extra level of CC is going to be pretty powerful. But on the other hand, Xin Zhao is one of the strongest early game junglers in the game, so we can't sleep on Myth Jones on the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, no, Myth Jones is a beast. So if Limitless is going to win right here, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, if Myth Jones pops off, and, Lissandra isn't somebody who necessarily hyperscales. She does scale decently, but, like, if you set her behind, she's going to be a non-factor, right? Like, you're not going to ever have to worry about her damage. Shiny Worm on the GP, even though GP has gotten a lot of change with the barrels and the Q and the crit scaling, you set him behind on martial arts for you on that Rengar with Myth Jones, like, GP's not even a threat anymore, right? Rek'Sai, somebody who isn't necessarily a hard scaler as well. So the only hard scaling comes from the bot side, right? So everybody else after 30 minutes, give or take, is going to be online on the side of Goldfish. But before that, if you set them far behind, like, you're looking at something where they need to go 40, 45, even longer than that to actually try to catch up. So I do feel like Limitless early game snowballing, that potential is absolutely there. And if they can actually pull this off, it's going to be super impressive.
Absolutely there. We're going to see if Limitless is able to come back after a rough loss in game 2, bounce back and get this early snowball that we saw Goldfish kind of do last game. But we will see what happens. Which team will take the game 3 in this best of 3 series? Of course, 1-1. What?
Oh, I would say make sure you guys bet. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you guys get your bets in the chat here. We'll be back in a few minutes after the spectator delay is done. Don't go anywhere because we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on for game 3 between Limitless Future and Goldfish Gaming. For Limitless Future in the top lane, Martial Arts on Rengar, Myth Jones on Xin Zhao. In the jungle, Fonzo on LeBlanc in the mid lane, and Omnific and Snowlife on Ziggs, Xerath in the bottom side. And for Goldfish Gaming, Shiny Worm on Gangplank in the top side. Mossy on Rek'Sai in the jungle. Okami on Lissandra in the mid lane. And Dirt and Hoshinoko on Tristana and Seraphine in the bot lane.
Yeah, and I just want to say, this is some really interesting stuff. We haven't seen a lot of Rek'Sai, but the last time I saw Rek'Sai, she normally took Electrocute. And this is going to be Mossy actually on with Aftershock. So I actually do like that adaptation. Rek'Sai is someone who, generally speaking, you go in, you get the knock up, and you do a lot of burst damage. But outside of that, the Aftershock is going to help with that survivability. And I feel like that's something that she really needs, especially as the game progresses. And I was just looking at this on the side of Limitless, and the way that they've kind of constructed their comp, to me, it just seems so difficult for them to execute. I'm not saying that they can't. I absolutely believe that they can. The thing that kind of stuck out with that is Martial Arts and Fonzo both took TP instead of Ignite. And generally speaking, when you take these assassins, you normally want to take Ignite to get that early snowball going. And I feel like going forward, as we see them on Limitless actually help with that leash for Myth Jones, I believe like it could actually hurt them depending on how the game is going to go, how the lane goes. I mean,
yeah, I mean, only time will tell, and I mean you can already see trading back and forth in a lot of these lanes. Martial Arts just jumping from bushes onto Shiny Worm, but now wait, Martial Arts could be in trouble if Shiny Worm opts to keep going. Corrupting Potions are ticking, and we're gonna see an invade here. Myth Jones going right in onto Mossy, but the smite will go over to the Rek'Sai, looking for that knockup. The flash is available. Flash knockup comes through. Myth Jones could be in trouble, flashing over the wall, but Dirt will follow up with the flash to get the first blood. Now on the top side here, Martial Arts gonna find the route onto Shiny Worm, and Martial Arts has to run for the hills. One more auto, and a Q could be enough, but flashing away will save Martial Arts' life here. Gonna back and probably use that TP to get back into the lane. But already, Goldfish Gaming strikes first.
Yeah, Myth Jones got a little ahead of himself right there. I mean, you don't see Rek'Sai often, so it's one of those things where you don't actually understand her damage. And when he went in right there, Mossy was like, I win this, sir. And yeah, it was just an easy collapse right there with Dirt and Hokami to go ahead and get the... well, Hokami actually didn't even get the assist right there. And more trading, I think Shiny Worm might be in trouble.
Yeah, Shiny Worm is taking pretty low there. Could actually go down in a few more, rotations. Here we go. Martial Arts is going to look for it here. Shiny Worm does have flash available. One more auto. Yes, sir. The Q reset. And Martial Arts going to find a solo kill on the top.
Shiny Worm's just a little greedy right there. All he had to do is back by and TP.
Okay, we're still going into the bottom side. He goes. The bomb is ticking down onto Omnific. Ignite as well. But Omnific will live for the time being. Trying to find the snipes onto Dirt, but wait a minute. Myth Jones is going to find Mossy in the jungle here. Mossy's running for the hills, but the knockup will cancel that tunnel, and Myth Jones is going to find a return kill on the enemy jungler.
Yeah, and this is actually playing right into Limitless Futures comp. They want to make it super ugly, super skirmishy, and that's exactly what's happening right here. We're trading everywhere. Mossy gets spotted out. Actually is going to go ahead and drop right there, and now I mean Dirt needs to back too, so there's just so much trading going on right now in these patterns, and if you're on the side of Goldfish, you need to slow it down. You need to slow it down and stabilize this game, because you don't want them to snowball any harder than they already have.
Yeah, absolutely. This early game is so potent. But here we go. We're going to see a play into this bottom side here as Omnific. The bomb is ticking down, but you can't flash away from a Tristana bomb that's on your head already. Omnific will go down, and now Dirt sitting at 2-0 on the Tristana. Martial Arts and Shiny Worm still going back and forth, but Myth Jones is now into this top side here. Shiny Worm has flash available. They will get knocked up off this auto. Martial Arts jumping from the bush as the flash and oranges, but a few more autos. Wind becomes lightning, and one more. He does not opt to take it. Shiny Worm limps out with his life after using that flash, but now Still Life could be in trouble. Gonna find the stun onto Hoshinoko, and that will prevent any further aggression from the Goldfish Gaming bot lane. Just kidding, it doesn't. It's Dirt. It's trading again. He's just going back and forth here, but taking so much damage. Wait a minute, rocket jump to safety for the time being. And Snowlife doesn't really have too much mana, but the stun's gonna land. Will get rooted up for themselves though, as the heal's not available for either of these. But the flash forward, trying to find the kills, bouncing bombs. They're bouncing in the wrong direction. Not gonna find the kills there. But now the mid lane and jungler are here from Goldfish Gaming. Okami gonna find the kill onto Omnific, and now Snowlife is only trying to delay the inevitable. A double kill goes over to Okami on the Lissandra, and that's just what you need if you're Goldfish.
Yo, Lissandra, Mossy with that little wombo combo, right? You get the knockup, you get the root, you get the damage, you get the kill. It's that simple. You roam to the bot lane, you get the kill. You roam with your jungler, you get the kill. Myth Jones here to try to pick up some of this farm, but the damage is already done. And now we're looking...
Cannon. Cannon Omega Lol.
Omega Lol. This is the cannon to add insult to injury, right? So this is actually getting turned around. There is a pretty big lead. It's 1K at 5-6 minutes. That's actually pretty strong. And yeah, Shiny Worm and Martial Arts are not letting up with this. And I think that Okami is probably going to roam to the top side here pretty soon.
Yeah, you have to think Okami is going to look into this top side here. Shiny Worm is just shooting down Rengar right now, able to win a lot of the trades, at least for the time being.
Uh-oh, bot side.
Yeah, gank coming in here. Myth Jones, Wind becomes Lightning, Stun's gonna land, as well as the Satchel knocking back Hoshinoko, and that's a dead Seraphine right there. She's not singing for anyone for the next 20 seconds. As a nice gank comes through, Cannon Barrage was used by Shiny Worm, but now let's see what Mossy can do. The flash is not yet available, but will get stunned up. Wind becomes Lightning, and they're just re-engaging back onto the Rex side. Myth Jones gonna find a kill there, but the exhaust is so good from Snowlife, just mitigating all of that damage from Dirt, and Myth Jones will live. Now Okami could be in trouble, but more trading in the top side here. Shiny Worm is getting the better of it again. That is just the nature of Gangplank in the trades chain. Will land onto Okami. Gonna get rooted up here as the members are coming through. A nice root, as was the Glacial Prism, and Ignite ticking down. Hoshinoko is gonna find the kill there. Okami has the passive.
Oh my.
Will take the claw away, and now Hoshinoko is in the 1v2. Fonz are gonna have to burn the flash. Try to get away here. He is dodging every single ability. Now Mossy is in the area, but the ultimate is not available yet for the Rek'Sai. Where's the tunnel? Who is he going to go for? Snowlife taking Hoshinoko to 1 HP with that Q, but there's no other kills coming through. Omnific could be in trouble here as Dirt finds him. Can use the Satchel to try to get away, but there is no flash available for Omnific. Will go down to the Tristana, now sitting at 3-1.
Yo, so many different delayed fights and engage between both of these teams. Even though on the side of Goldfish, they didn't necessarily draft the most skirmishy heavy sort of draft. Like, they're still finding ways to skirmish, you know, especially with Mossy on another one of these pocket picks with the Rek'Sai. We saw the Talia earlier, and Mossy really popped off at that. And now we're seeing how versatile Mossy is with this pick. And although, yeah, the KDA doesn't necessarily reflect how well he's been playing, especially with some of these things where it's like 50-50 if you're actually going to get the kill or not. But the way that Dirt has actually been capitalizing on these Mossy ganks, on Okami roaming to the bot side, this is going to pay a big dividend as the game progresses, because if Tristana is strong, the rest of your team comp works. If Tristana is behind, the rest of it kind of falls apart. And as Shiny Worm on this GP has the lane frozen out, I think...
Oh, Martial Arts trying to break the freeze, but one more Q should do it. Going into the bushes, retreating. And Shiny Worm has to just back up because you don't want to take a Rengar jumping on your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially at that low.
I was going to say it's a battle of sustain, since Shiny Worm has Corrupting Pot plus Biscuits, and Martial Arts just has the healing on the W, right? So it's one of those things where Shiny Worm should be able to win this, but at the same time, there's just so much more damage on the side of Rengar early on.
Yeah, Gangplank does need a little bit of time to scale up and really deal a lot of damage, but I mean, Shiny Worm is going to win these very quick and, you know, frequent trades. It's just, it only becomes more Rengar favored when it goes longer.
Uh-oh, top side. Look at this. Everybody's top side.
Oh, Martial Arts could be in trouble here. He's going to run into the Rek'Sai. Does have flash available. Mossy's going to flash forward, get that knockup, and Shiny Worm. He's going to gain kill credit there, and the Herald is getting pinged up. Stun comes down onto Hoshinoko. It's the flash away from the Mega Inferno Bomb. There's no damage over time coming through. So Hoshinoko will live. Fonzo looking for a combo in the mid lane, but the chain will go wide as Myth Jones takes away the blue buff, but the top lane and jungler for Goldfish Gaming are on the Rift Herald, and it looks like Limitless Future cannot go after that. So that's going to be a Rift Herald going over to Limitless Future, and I think, if I remember correctly, it was all Goldfish when it came to objectives in last game. So it's a good sign for Limitless Future to be able to take this one. Oh, wait a minute. Mossy is going to find Myth Jones here, but Okami is first on the roam. Claw will get put away, but a nice Glacial Prism, but it doesn't matter because Mossy just goes down. Fonzo with too much damage. Now Myth Jones chasing Okami back, and Fonzo should be able to get this with the distortion coming up in the next couple seconds. Or in bot lane instead, because they're fighting back. Dirt jumping in, gonna get explosive charge and knock Snow Life back into the tower. Snow Life will find a kill onto Hoshinoko, but Dirt will get the kill back, and a 2-for-1 in favor of Goldfish Gaming in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Dirt with a nice little insect right there. Unfortunately, Hoshinoko paid for it with his life, right? But it was still a nice little fancy play by Dirt to pick up. We'll call it almost a double kill because the Ignite got the final tick on that one kill. So on the re-engage right there by Mossy into Akami and Fonzo, like that was actually so skirmishy, right? Like I kept feeling like, yo, like Mossy had enough in the tank, but you see how powerful Myth Jones is on that Xin Zhao, right? Like Xin Zhao is just such a power pick. And look at this, Myth Jones is holding steady. Yeah, he's gonna get spotted out by what is it called? Praise Seeker? Is that the name of her Q?
Yeah, Praise. Oh, look at it. See, there you go. Damage from Fonzo. Just so much damage going out from the LeBlanc if you can get the full combo off.
Yeah, and the way this top lane has been going, like Shiny Worm is pushing this in, and I was going to say he's overextended.
Shiny Worm could be in trouble here as Wind becomes lightning. Rengar's going to jump at him from the bushes. One more auto should do it, but the tower comes to safety. Myth Jones still diving forward. Is going to get the dash and live. Myth Jones will find the kill there, and Shiny Worm goes down for the second time in this game.
Yeah, it's starting to escalate now.
Okami to Mega Inferno Bomb, and the Glacial Prism going to be used to buy some time and a flash away from the stuns from the rest of the team, but it doesn't matter because there's too much damage. Fonzo goes on a killing spree.
Honestly, I after looking at Goldfish, I think they're playing a little too disrespectful. They're taking some fights that they don't necessarily have to take. They're not playing around the vision. If you look on the bot side, they have so much vision pushed into that bot side, right? They have a sick little vision line, but they aren't playing around it, right? They're overextending when they know the bot side is missing. They're overextending when they know that they don't have help on the top side. So all these plays are just combining and just adding up to where they're falling further and further behind. Well, they're blowing their lead. Now they're behind. That is going to be the Herald drop. And yeah, so they can probably get this pretty easy. Dirt does burn the satchel. And yeah, there goes that Wind become lightning right there. So I feel like when you're looking at the way this is happening, like they need to just slow it down. Just say, hey, you know what? We don't have a strong early game comp. We don't have to force like this. Like we have GP Lissandra. Like even with the Rek'Sai, it doesn't work, right? Like you just need to slow it down and recognize what your win con is, which is Tristana.
Yeah, absolutely. Tristana is really, really big in this game. Only 51 CS, which is interesting. But now we're going to see On the Hunt popped in 1v1 into this top side here. Shiny Worm does not look that good right now in this fight. Martial Arts going to take down the barrels. Cannon Barrage going to come over the top here. For the time being, Shiny Worm is just going to die right away. And now it's, a 3-man stun from Okami as Omnific tries to live. But it doesn't matter because the shutdown goes over. Fonzo will go down. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to find Okami on the backside here, and the fight looks in favor of Limitless Future so far as Mossy's the last member alive, and to get the ace. Limitless Future gets an ace at just under 14.5 minutes.
Right. So like I said, they're playing super loose, super undisciplined with how it is, and right there, Limitless just kind of smacked them on the bottom, right? They said, hey, you guys are playing loose, and we're going to make you pay for it. They ace them right there to get the Drake. And just going forward, and look at this, Myth Jones is actually in the jungle taking everything that he can. I like the opportunistic plays. And if on the side of Goldfish, stop the blading. Stop taking every fight. Like, you don't have the same comp as you had last game. You can't play the exact same way. And Limitless just has a better skirmish comp. Like, you can't fight them when they're strong like this.
I do want to highlight something here. We talked about how this Tristana was going to be the win condition for Goldfish Gaming because she was so strong. Well, I'm looking right now, and Tristana is down. Hold on one second as Okami gets absolutely one-shotted by the LeBlanc. It doesn't even matter because Fonzo's an animal. I'm looking at the levels right now. Dirt is down a level and down in gold.
Yep.
To Omnific. To the counterpart.
They kept on roaming. They kept on taking bad fights, and every time Omnific was just throwing in that Mega Inferno Bomb or whatever. So, like, he was getting the kills, but he was still in lane. He was able to get plates and everything like that. Where, you know, Dirt did get some plates or whatever, but he kept on getting forced into these fights that he was trying to respond to. And fighting on the top side, Shiny Worm has been playing disrespectful as well. So, this is probably going to be, I don't know, Rek'Sai's overextended, and here go, or I'm sorry, Rek'Sai's there.
Here we go. Rengar knocked up. Martial Arts looking for it here, but the numbers are coming in for Limitless Future. On the hunt will be popped, and Mossy is trying to run for the hills with the flash forward. Myth Jones, and as well as Rio just shooting rights of the Arcane over the top. Snow Life is going to find the snipe on to Mossy, and now Shiny Worm could be in trouble here as going through. Has to burn the flash to get away, but there's 4 members of Limitless Future in the top lane. Their whole team is here, and that is going to find Shiny Worm there. Gangplank. Now 1-4, Mossy 0-5. This is not what you want to see from Gold.
Yeah, they were so scrappy in game 2, and they just haven't been able to adapt to this comp that they drafted. I liked it. The Rek'Sai was kind of an oddball pick, but I mean, Mossy has shown that, you know, he plays some champs that maybe aren't currently great. Like Talia is something that has been out of favor in the meta for a while, and you know, I was willing to give the benefit of the doubt, but it seems like the Rek'Sai pick isn't working out the same way that Talia did, and the way that the rotations are happening on the side of Limitless Gaming, they're just showing what a strong team they are. And although Goldfish and them are close in standings, Limitless has shown time and time again that they are a team that can beat up on teams below them or even in them. And this is what's happening right here, right? Like, they are beating up on the side of Goldfish Gaming and kind of flexing how good Limitless is.
Yeah, and I do want to remind everyone that this is a must-win game for Limitless Future. In order to have a shot at playoffs, they have to win today. If they lose, playoff picture out, their playoffs are out of the picture. You know, there's no hope at that point because they wouldn't, just standing wise, be able to get into the playoffs there. So Limitless Future needs to be able to close this game out if they want their chances at a playoff run.
Exactly. And I mean, Goldfish really needed a win here too. Like, they had been on a streak and everything, but Limitless had been on going the opposite way. And whoever wins this is actually setting themselves up for really, yeah, Hoshinoka's in trouble.
Okay, it's time to dodge. Hoshinoka, what can you do? Dodging out of that Mega Inferno Bomb as well as Zerathos. He's coming through, but Snow Life is an absolute sniper. Finds a second kill with the right of the Arcane. Now the Herald is going to be spawned in this mid lane to take out this tower. It's not going to take the tower yet, but with that Zig Satchel, it will. Shiny Worm takes the Blast Cone up in the air and right back down. It should go down here in the next couple seconds as the flash forward from Snow Life trying to secure it. Omnific taking really low 1 HP, but it doesn't matter because Okami has to run for the hills. Chain's going to land from Fonzo, and Fonzo is running through. Glacial Prism is going to buy some time, but it doesn't matter because Myth Jones goes on a rampage. Brain Seeker lands on Omnific, and Mossy takes the opportunity to take down the enemy AD carry, and now Snow Life is looking for the 1v2 against Dirt, bring it down, and he will get the kill. Now Encore is going to land, but it doesn't matter because your whole team is dead. Hoshinoko now getting chased by Rengar and Jin Zhao. When becomes lightning, gonna get the extension, and that's gonna be it. Another delayed ace from Limitless Future as this mid lane inhibitor tower is under siege. It is only Shiny Worm left, and the wave has been broken out, but it doesn't matter because they're gonna be able to tank that tower and take the mid lane inhibitor tower regardless of what happens. The dragon is spawned. We're gonna get an Ocean Soul on the Rift here. So I would imagine that Limitless looks to take that in the next couple minutes, maybe off this reset. Limitless Future, 8K gold up right now, just under 20 minutes. They're feeling themselves.
Yo, they've been feeling themselves the whole fight right there. They're flashing forward when they don't have to flash. They're re-engaging, they're tower diving. They're having a lot of fun right now. I can tell by the way that they're playing. They're just having fun. They're like, yo, should we dive this? Yeah, dive it. What are they going to do about it, right? Like, they're so far behind right now. Now, on the side of Goldfish, they either, yeah, I was going to say, they are actually at a decision. They either have to force this Baron to try to trade away the Drake, which is what they're doing, and I don't think Limitless is actually going to respond to this, although when you look at martial arts, they know.
Is going to be in trouble. Fonzo's going to one-shot him yet again here. But this Baron actually is going to get spotted out. Yeah, martial arts is going to come and see that this Baron is being taken away. And Goldfish Gaming has to run away with their tail between their legs.
Yeah, this isn't the way that they wanted this game to go. Like, if they can slow it down. Anyway, look at this. Dirt was ahead. He's level 9. Omnific is level 11. Like, he's not able to pick up any of this CS, Dirt, on this Tristana Ultimate.
On the hunt, the Shiny Worm going to get aggressed on here. And it just looks like it is all Rengar taking down those barrels, and Mossy is not close enough to do anything. But Mossy's gonna find 2 members of Limitless Future. Has to burrow out to safety. This top lane tower should go down as. Oh wait, never mind. That's their own tower.
Yeah. I think.
Okay, on the Mossy they go again. When becomes lighting, Mega Inferno Bomb. Force Mossy to flash away, and yeah, I have to think that there's a Baron coming soon here, as the jungler just burned Flash and has to go all the way back to base. So yeah, should be a Limitless Future Baron. Fonzo.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you got blown up right there. Akame had just got one shot by Fonzo a second ago. Tried to go to the bot side to push out a wave. Yeah, Fonzo's still there. He just explodes him right there, right? So this is going to be that Baron going down at 21.5 minutes, almost 22. And there's nothing that Goldfish can do about it. And this has actually exploded this league. What is it? 10K up, 20 minutes? Almost 10K anyway. And yeah, that cannon barrage goes down. Look at this. Martial Arts just sits there. He backs right there just to kind of like a BM a little bit. Like, yo, your cannon barrage does nothing, bro. And this is going to be a huge Baron push right here. Like I talked about it in the draft, where on the side of Limitless, they want it to be scrappy. They want it to be an ugly sort of fight. And it is a difficult comp to actually execute. But when your opponents are just taking bad fights, or when they're behind like this, it's not a difficult comp anymore. It's basically, yo, we snowballed. We did exactly what we needed to do. They're way behind. They cannot stop us. They can't do anything. So on the side of Limitless right here, all they need to do is group 5 and push, or they could split push 1-3-1. It doesn't matter, right? Like, they're having fun. They're taking their time. As long as they don't play too loose, they should be in prime position to pick up this win in this best of 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Limitless is in the driver's seat right now, up just under 10,000 gold. Fonzo is just destroying. Yeah, Shiny Worm gets wrecked, burns the Flash, but it doesn't matter because the chain still lands. And yeah, I mean, you have a 9-1 LeBlanc, fully stacked Dark Seal. I mean, when is that going to get upgraded? Yeah. That's the question. The gold is in the bank right now, so that item could get upgraded at any point in time, whenever, you know, Fonzo is feeling like it. But yeah, I mean, like you said, this Baron push is going to be huge. I'd imagine that they can definitely deal a lot of damage with this Baron push, at least crack open 2 inhibs. I mean, one more fight and the game is over pretty much, and I don't really see any way that Goldfish can get back in. Let's see here. Martial Arts looking for dirt, but now Right of the Arcane is going to fly over the top. One more. Okay, Snow Life is an animal with these skill shots here. Gonna find the kill onto dirt, and now with the AD carry dead from Goldfish Gaming, Limitless Future pushes into the base. Mid lane inhib will fall. Top lane inhib should fall shortly after as well. And here we go. They are on to the Nexus towers with these minion waves. Martial Arts looks to push that bot wave in, try to get the 3rd inhib for themselves here. Still 12 seconds on the enemy AD carry. Dirt will come up in the near future, but the towers are gone in the base. Bot lane inhib is open. We'll see if they opt to go for the Myth Jones. Wind becomes lightning, looking in. Crescent Strike's going to take away a lot of those ranged abilities for the time being, but Okama has to flash away. Myth Jones flashing after him, but he's going to get charmed up by the Encore, so will Omnific. One more tower shot, and he will go down. 900 gold to Mossy, but all 3 inhibs are down. for Goldfish Gaming. They're gonna have 2 waves of or 2 super minions per wave in every lane for the next couple minutes. So that's gonna be really, really hard. And we saw them break open the base, get all 3 inhibs with that Baron.
Yeah, great Baron push right here on the side of Limitless Future. This is why I was so high on them. Coming into this coming into last week, I should say. Kind of died off after I saw how they played, and it was just such a really tough loss to deal with when they lost to Collective, because it wasn't really close at all, right? And when we look at how they're playing right now, this is the Limitless that I've seen in the past, where they are scrappy, they're setting up vision, they're playing super clean, but at the same time they're playing really, really scrappy as well. And I feel like Snow Life is really trying to show how good of a support he really is. So I think that GP is in a lot of trouble right here. They're picking on him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see he's 1-7, so they've been able to successfully pick on him. Well, Koshinoko could be taking pretty low, but Okami is going to find a solo kill onto Omnific. And now that Ziggs is dead, but honestly, I don't really think it matters. Masi taking really low. One more skill shot would have been the difference maker between life and death. But now all of these waves are coming in for Limitless Future. They're down members, but it doesn't even matter because they're still aggressing in. They're jumping in onto Snow Life, trying to find a kill. But for the time being, the super minions are just smacking him down. Encore is not going to land onto anyone from Hoshinoko. And look at the damage from this Xerath. So much flashing forward. Not going to find the Q onto Dirt. But the minions are hitting the towers. Look at how many super minions are in the base right now. Fonzo threatening Dirt. One-shotted. Easy. Dia Never. Masi going in. Going to get taken down as well as one Nexus Tower goes. The next Nexus Tower has 17 super minions hitting it as well as Vition's going to dive. And he looks like, go down to the tower, but Martial Art's going to dive the fountain, take a kill back. Tower's still not done yet, but the teleports are coming through. Fonzo is here, but the tower is still alive. Gonna get rooted up onto the tower. Tower goes down, but Snow Life. Okay, Fonzo dies. Snow Life versus the world here. Snow Life versus Hoshinoko versus the world, but it doesn't even matter because Mega Inferno Bomb from air support. And that's going to be it. Limitless Future will take the series.
Yeah, GGWP. Limitless Future made it scrappy, made it dirty, made it ugly. That's going to be that 27-minute win. And yeah, Goldfish just kind of got sucked into the swarm, right? You got sucked into that swarm of, hey, we got to scrap with them, even though they didn't really have that comp to scrap. We saw some over-aggression, some overextension, and what a great series, though. Hats off to both teams, and they learned a lot about each other right here. And going into this playoff push between both of them, I mean, Goldfish isn't necessarily out of it. They are going to need to really make sure that they win the next couple of games going into it. So they have, I believe, 2 games left, right? If they win both of those, they have a good shot at making playoffs. Like, it's such a toss up between all these teams, right? So Limitless really needed this win to stop the bleeding, and they did it. And hats off to Snow Life. Snow Life had really got picked on against Collective, and you see right here why I was so high on Snow Life. Like, I talked about this in the analyst desk before, but I felt like when he was on Enchanters, he was so great. But he's showing that he doesn't just play Enchanters, right? That's a mage support and the Xerath coming out. We saw him on that Amumu, just so devastating. And even though everybody played great, I just felt like Snow Life, at least in game 1, was the player of the game for me. In game 2, I would still kind of put him kind of up there as well, because there was a lot of things that he did on that setup. And yeah, looking at the damage, really nice job between this team. And everybody just had each other's back. So hats off to Limitless. I'm so sorry for doubting you guys. You know, I had stuck with you all year, and I swapped horses right here. I was like, oh, I'll go on Goldfish because they look good. But I should have just stuck with my dudes in Limitless. Great job, and hopefully there's enough left in the tank to win out and make playoffs, because I really dig Limitless Future.
Yeah, Limitless Future coming in clutch when they needed it most, keeping their playoffs hopes alive with a win today. That is going to be it for us here at the Classic Championship Series for Week 7. I've been Rychains, joined by Cursive. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Make sure to smash that sub button because we just got it. New emotes are going to be coming this weekend. And hope you guys have a good weekend. Rest of your week. We'll see you guys next week for our Week 8 matchup. And you know it's going to be a good one. Have a good weekend.